of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
The Rancevizzo. Tonight at 7. MoJo 50.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
I tell you, things were tense. University of Michigan over the weekend, tense. I tell you, here's a report from one of the local TV stations up there.
Elizabeth Street. We are keeping a close eye on social media right now. One user posting on Twitter, quote, there was a vigil for the mosque shooting in the Diag scheduled for 4. We've all just been quarantined to a different floor because an active shooter is on campus as of 4:30. This is an emergency.
That was a tweet sent out by the by one of the students after receiving a tweet from the university itself, I guess, the safety office there. So the reporter went on.
A University of Michigan student on the phone right now. Emily Hinojosa is just leaving campus right now. And Emily, what can you tell us? Walk us through how you were alerted about this.
Well, I got a phone call. I had literally just gotten out of the shower, and I saw a number, like a 734 Ann Arbor number, and I'm expecting a call for a job, so I answered it thinking that's what it was, and it was an automated message saying, active shooter, 4:36 p.m., Mason Hall, run and fight and hide.
Technically, the call said run and hide and fight, because run, fight, hide would be doing it wrong. So it was run, hide,
and then fight.
Run, hide, fight as a last resort. So it continued.
And I immediately, hung up my phone, got dressed as fast as I could, and, freaked out, and I'm leaving. And I called my parents. I called my best friends. I tried texting a ton of my friends. No one is responding. I heard back from one person who was asking, if I'm okay, if I'm safe.
I mean, people were terrified. They went on to talk to another student at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, and he had this to say.
And then around 5:10, I started getting notifications that there was a shooter at the Ugly, the undergrad library.
Okay, he just said library. This is a guy at a university.
I think about 60% of people say library.
It's library. It's not library. It's library.
Come on, Brad, don't you know it has a silent R?
No, it doesn't. Believe me, there are a lot of stupid words in the English language that there are silent letters running around here and there, but library isn't one of them.
At the Ugly, the undergrad library.
Library.
And that's all I've heard since then.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything? Have you seen a police presence?
No,
what do you see?
Haven't seen anything.
I'm 11th floor in my apartment, so I don't really have a great angle, so I can't really see anything, but I have seen a store.
But that's a good place to be if there's an active shooter downstairs.
On the 11th floor.
Yes, you've got the high ground in that case. So that's a good thing. So the reporter immediately reached out, and of course the producers in the newsroom reached out to students who gave them these on-the-scene reports, which then, of course, the school released a statement later in the day saying Saturday afternoon the University of Michigan Division of Public Safety and Security received as many as 20 calls reporting shots being fired on the second floor of the Mason Hall building adjacent to the Central Campus Diag. The reports came in at 4:35, about the same time as a vigil was taking place on the Diag for those who killed in the mosque attacks in New Zealand. So naturally, they put two and two together. DPSS immediately issued an emergency alert to the campus community and officers already in the area of the Diag. Immediately, they went to Mason Hall to investigate. They were directed by law enforcement personnel to leave the area, get out. Additionally, officers from several agencies, including the police, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Michigan State Police, and the FBI provided support. So you got everybody here. I mean, you've got agencies from surrounding counties coming in. You've got the feds on the property at this point. They began a careful and thorough search of the building, which is attached to 3 other buildings. They issued updates on the emergency alert while the search process continued, but there's no question that inconsistent information was being shared throughout the community outside of the proper channels. It's important to closely follow these matters and to make sure you are signed up for the University of Michigan emergency alerts. Officers were able to confirm a report of balloon popping activity in the area where the sounds of shots fired were reported to have been heard. Yes, folks, it is time, and I think you will agree, it is time for some common sense balloon control. We cannot have people running around with balloons like this, causing mass hysteria. You don't need it. You were going to use that balloon to turn it into a dachshund? I don't think so. We don't need people running around with unregistered balloons.
The clown trying to make the balloon animals.
Exactly.
Kept screwing up.
Exactly. This is what happens when you have unregistered balloons on college campuses.
He's like, pop, damn it.
Yes. Do you know how hard it is to make the giraffe? I mean, when you got the little ears
Do you know
up
how
there.
hard it is to make anything with those damn balloons?
Of course it is. That's why no one needs to own these damn things.
Wow.
So apparently
balloon popping freaked everybody out.
The entire situation was caused by some balloons being popped, which, by the way, at the other place, we had a couple of incidents, and I, being in charge of the building as I was, you can tell the difference between a balloon popping and a gunshot. A gunshot sounds different than a balloon popping.
Plus, it stings a little bit.
Plus, yes, unless you get the balloon close to your eye, in which case, you can put your eye out.
Dog.
Yeah, we actually had a gunshot fired at the other place.
What?
Yeah, accidentally. It was a strange day there that somebody found apparently a weapon in the back of a car. A trunk was open in the parking lot. And somebody was out in the parking lot and happened to see the trunk open, tried to close the trunk, and the trunk wouldn't close. So they decided that it was a good idea to bring the suitcase that was in the trunk inside the studio for safekeeping. I don't know quite exactly why they decided to do that, but the suitcase or briefcase, whatever it was brought into the security office, at which point the security guys went through it and pulled out found a weapon. Hey, well, there's a gun in here. Well, you better clear the weapon. Make sure. Well, in clearing the weapon, boom, gun goes off.
Wow.
Shoots through the wall.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting day. Guns sound a little bit different than balloons. They sound a lot different than balloons. But everybody is so on edge now. Obviously, we're happy that everybody's safe, but yeah, we don't need people running around with balloons that you don't need that many balloons. They don't need to be selling balloons in 10 packs. What are you going to do with those? Come on. I don't think they should sell any balloons with more than 5 to a package. Because then you'd be able to tell the difference. If every one of them popped, you go, what? That's only 5. The average gun shoots 6. Can't be a gun. Or does he have a shot left? I gots to know. I gots to know.
Well, do you, punk? There you go.
They don't make movies like Dirty Harry anymore. How was your weekend, Ron?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I sat around and watched Netflix all weekend long.
Love, Death, and Robots?
Love, Death, and Robots. Now, did you see that?
Saw the first episode, or the first what do you call them? They're not episodes. It's
Vignettes is what I call
yeah,
them.
a little vignette.
Because they're relatively short, all of them, 11 to 20 minutes.
Well, it was. I looked up and I thought, wow, that's weird. I thought, is that live action or is that?
It's not.
Is that anime? It's an art form.
Look, there are a couple of those episodes where it's hard to tell that it's live action.
I know
CGI, that it's not live action. Sorry,
we're
getting closer. That's right.
This close to being able
now,
to.
I didn't watch all of them because I didn't watch the cartoony ones, but I did watch all of the episodes that had the CGI.
Yeah,
that looked. They're all weird as hell.
Yeah, that first one was
crazy.
Whew, that was. I tell you what, I didn't see that coming.
And then I did watch Triple Frontier.
Was that good?
That was pretty good.
Now,
I
right up until the end,
the end
pissed me off.
Me too.
God,
like,
why did they do that?
Exactly.
They could have done
Triple
that.
Frontier. It has Ben Affleck in it.
It looks a little puffy.
Oscar Isaacs. What's the guy's name from
Adrian Pascal? No, is it Pat?
No, the guy from
Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, Charlie Hunnam. Is that what his name is? Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah.
And then the dude from Game of Thrones.
Yes, you're right. Pascal. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, it was a pretty well written show, or movie, but I just you hump that stuff all over the world.
It's a morality tale. It's good. It was supposed to be a movie starring Tom Hanks.
Oh, he was supposed to be
He was
in
supposed
this?
to have been in it. The movie has if you go back in time, it's like 2010. They were supposed to make this thing with Tom Hanks and somebody else.
What character was he?
Don't know.
Oh.
Catherine Bigelow was supposed to direct it. I mean, it was going to be a theatrical release, and then that's why they say the wheels in Hollywood turn very slowly if they ever turn.
Was this Netflix original?
It was. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
It ended up being a Netflix thing. So
well, it's pretty good.
It is good right up until the end.
Yep.
They could have done that last scene so much better. It could have been so much more subtle. But damn it, they had to just right there in your face. It's like, jeez.
No, it was pretty good. I watched it.
What if he just handed it to him? Just handed it and walked off, and you're left going, what was that?
So if anybody out there goes out and watches Love, Death, and Robots, let us know what you think, because
it's an art form.
It is definitely an art form, and they are definitely not for younger viewers.
Yeah, cartoons.
Believe it or not.
Cartoons aren't for younger viewers anymore, we're discovering. They are...
Well, this is more like graphic novel stuff.
Boy, is it. Boy,
graphic comics, maybe even.
Yeah, this would be, by the way, I just, speaking of graphic novels, I just saw a tweet about The Walking Dead, which I didn't get to watch last night, and it said, the episode tells story shocks fans. And I'm like, damn it, I can't read about it now, because I got to wait until I see it.
Yeah.
What happened? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. If Kurt Russell dies, I'm going to be pissed. That's all I'm saying.
You know he does.
Tar River Arms. If you haven't been yet to traguns.com, what are you waiting for, especially if you want to be one of the good guys with a gun? Isn't that the New Zealand shooter was stopped by a good guy with a gun, wasn't he?
Actually, I don't remember.
I think he was. Turns out that the prime minister there wants tighter gun laws in New Zealand. I thought they had some of the tightest already. When will people learn? I don't know. In the meantime, if you go to traguns.com, you will see some amazing firearms. The one that I was just looking at a little bit earlier today is the, where did it go? Shifted. The PTR Industry 601. It's an MP5 clone with an SBT brace and one extra magazine. One magazine is never enough. This is actually on sale. This one, you can save about $60 off the retail price. This is not an inexpensive gun. But if you are a gun aficionado, if you're a gun collector, if you just want to buy guns because it's your damn constitutional right, then I say TRA Guns is the place to go. TRA Guns has some of the best prices you'll find anywhere. It's the most convenient gun store on planet Earth. It is also America's first virtual gun store. So you can, a lot of these guns, you can click on them and you can see them in 360-degree virtual views. You can see whether or not they actually clean the guns well enough. truly, I mean, they're that high def a picture. You can see the specks left over from the cleaning cloths. Go to TRA Guns, that is TarRiverArms.com, TRAGuns.com, and see if there's something there that suits your fancy. As the good guys, we need to make sure that we are as well armed as the bad guys out there, because you just never know. And that's the problem. You never know. Looks like things are all quiet over in the MeWe chat room this morning. I'm kind of surprised. They must have been worn out between. Oh, that's right. Yeah, off track with Whiskey 6 last night. They're all hung over this. They're not even up yet. Why did I even bother to look? And I got read this email that was sent to us from Tiffany. She says, I live near Omaha. No media is covering the devastating flooding happening here. Can someone at MoJo please cover this? Contact our congressman, Don Bacon, and our governor, or anyone. The rescues, the independence, the bravery, the neighbor helping neighbor need to be seen. It'll show this divided country what brotherhood is all about. And let me tell you, have you seen any of the video or the pictures out of?
I have not.
Holy crap. It is just, I mean, it is devastating up there. It's the Missouri River, the Elkhorn and the Platte Rivers in Nebraska, and they are just, I mean, they're way beyond flood stage. This all goes back to the bomb cyclone last week. And all of that
is the river overflowing its banks. Is that what?
Oh
yeah. It's flooding. Yeah,
big time. It is huge. And here's I think this is the governor. This is
just to let you know that we expect record levels of the Elkhorn River this weekend, and so we have more water yet to come.
I've been through this a few times in 50 years. This is much more serious, and I mean I can see the water coming over the edge of the lake down here at the dike.
And the shots of some of these helicopters over the water.
We're putting sandbags out on the dike probably, I don't know, 8:30 last night, trying to do what we could, but the water just came up too fast.
You ever been in a flood? Oh, it is terrifying. When Nashville flooded.
Well, I went down to Houston to help out after the hurricane. And, of course, that area down there was flooded. And, I mean, we were in boats, going down what used to be the street.
Right.
And the water was to the top of a standard pickup, like a regular size pickup. The water was to the top of the glass. And so we were checking the trucks and things like that.
Oh,
I've never seen anything like that.
It's
I've just
scary.
never lived in a flood area. Well, those people actually didn't think they did either.
No, and in Nashville, we didn't think we did either. And the flooding there, I just know when it happened, my son at that time was, 7, 8, something like that. We drove down the street. I mean, it freaked him out because when you are not used to seeing a street be a river.
That's exactly right.
But I mean, it just messes with your whole sense of reality. And and especially in Nashville, when the Cumberland overflowed its banks and was going into basements downtown and coming up on the streets, it is terrifying.
Well, we went to there was an apartment complex probably 3/4 of a mile from where we were staging. And we went into that apartment complex, and I ended up having to walk through a lot of that crap. And it was chest high walking through the parking lot of the apartment complex. And so we would literally drive the boat right up to the stairs and let people walk down the stairs, and we would have to carry them a little ways to put them in the boats. But we cleared that entire apartment complex, and it took us all day long.
Oh,
those people went to bed with it raining hard, woke up the next morning, and all of the cars, nobody thought that was going to flood. So all the cars were still in the parking lot and or up on the grass and things like that because they had floated around. And
you just never know what's in that water.
You don't know what's in that water, and that's the thing. I didn't have waders on, and I didn't know what was in the water. I didn't think about it, and then people were telling me you shouldn't have gotten the water like that. Fortunately for me, I didn't get sick, but
there's sewage and chemicals and everything else that's in the water. There's at least one fatality, at least one person missing. according to Nebraska emergency managers. Shell Creek near Columbus, a farmer drove a tractor out to assist a motorist who was stuck in floodwaters, and he was swept away and died. Another person may have been swept away when the Spencer Dam collapsed on the Niobrara River. And it was a 91-year-old concrete structure. The dam, it failed. It washed away a straw bale tavern, a bait shop, half a dozen camper vehicles, and a home. A man who lived in the home was missing. Looks like there was nothing ever. Water will do some amazing things when it is when you have it in that sort of a quantity. It is a force to be reckoned with. So our hearts go out up there to Nebraska and Iowa. That is just awful up there. So we wish you obviously the best, because it is just. I can't imagine. I can't imagine, and that's the problem. It's just horrible. Across the world in Tokyo, I didn't realize this, that the 2020 Olympics are in Tokyo. You know that?
That's not happening right now, is it?
No, in 2020.
Oh, duh.
Here. Well, yeah, it's happening right now.
No, I did not know.
Organizing committee of the Olympics.
Is it a winter or summer? I don't.
Yeah, that's a good question. I lost track.
Did they do one every
2? Isn't it
every 2 years? So it's every 4 years for a winter, every 4 years for a summer. But
it can't be a Winter Olympics in Tokyo, can it?
I don't know.
They don't get snow in Tokyo, do they?
Dude, anymore they just make it.
Oh, that's true. Skiing down Mount Fuji.
Think about Dubai.
Yeah, that's true.
They built an entire ski resort
in
Dubai.
True. And in Tennessee on the which river is it up there? They when they did all of the river, all of the, not the rafting, but whatever it was. Anyway, they would release the water from the dam so they get the rapids, like the kayaking.
Oh yeah. And
then at night they just shut the dam off so this thing's gentle stream. And then when the games are going, boom, it's a crazy river. The human support robot and delivery support robot that were developed by Toyota Motor Corporation will allow spectators to enjoy watching the Tokyo 2020 games in greater comfort. They'll provide assistance to spectators in wheelchairs at the Olympic Stadium by carrying food and other goods. They'll guide people to their seats. They'll provide event information. They'll perform a number of additional duties during the games, details of which will be announced later. I don't know. There's something about this. This is going to start getting creepy. We're going to start hearing about, well, a robot did something inappropriate or rolled over somebody. Overall, robot technology will deliver safer and smoother games. Well, there's the kiss of death right there. And while the robots will be deployed only in specific roles during the games, the project is expected to showcase their potential for wider application in everyday life. Some of those Japanese robots, when you see them, they're freaky.
They're scary.
Yeah. And it is, man, what is it with the Japanese? Between the sex dolls and the robots? Whew.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I watched another Netflix show last night called...
Did you ever do any work?
I do, but that's my rational detachment. I will work, and then I'm like, okay, I got to get away from this for a minute.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Automata.
Isn't that what David Carradine died of? No, that was autoerotica. Sorry.
No,
that was close.
Like automaton, but it's automata, and it has what's I can't remember the guy in the well, dang it, I can't remember his name.
Here's a good
Antonio
idea.
Banderas.
Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Antonio. Is he the one? Who's he married to?
Melanie Griffith, or used to be.
Yeah. So they were both in this.
Huh. Automata? Automatopoeia? Is it good?
Automata. It was good. But
That's
look, I'm into the sci-fi.
No, it was good.
No, I'm into the sci-fi robot kind of thing and all of that. So I just search out those weird movies just to kind of.
Am I not surprised? All I can say is when they start combining the robots and the sex dolls, look out. Look out. It's time for a road trip to Japan. In the meantime, you looked in the mirror this weekend and you thought, damn, I'm fat.
Yep, I did that too.
Yeah, Riduzone. That can help. Riduzone has that molecule, the OEA molecule, which you can, of course, get without buying Riduzone. You can get it in olive oil and drink about 11 liters of that, and you'll be fine. Or you can get the one bottle of Riduzone and start taking that and see if it helps you like it did Eric. Eric Thomas lost 63 pounds on Riduzone for 3 times a day, 14 weeks it took him. He said he didn't experience any side effects. It helped him control his appetite. He'd eat less, and as the weight would come off, the activity level would go up. His waist size went down. He said Riduzone helped him reset his internal satiety. He feels fuller. He reduced his say shitty. It reduced his reset his internal say shitty mechanism to reduce his caloric intake and burn fat. Nice. So it yeah. I don't appreciate the curse words in there, Eric, but thank you. Go to riduzone.com, and this thing has been rated 4.89 out of 5. 37 verified reviews on their website.
As Doc would say, Riduzone, RIDU zone.com.
Or as Matt Locke would say, Riduzone. Riduzone. Go to riduzone.com. Dan Andros, should be talking to him in the next half hour on The Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. I spent some time over the weekend thinking about the president's first veto and how many of us who love the Constitution say, well, you can't be taking power away from the House or the Senate. And so I wrestled with it a lot. And then I listened to the mother of an Arizona police officer who was killed by an illegal alien, someone who should not have been in this country. Did you miss the Angel Mom's words during the veto signing?
My son was killed in 2014 by a repeat illegal alien criminal allowed to stay in this country. He was a police officer in Mesa, Arizona. And Angel families come forward to tell their stories, not because we've created a manufactured crisis, but because we want to tell the American people and share with you our heartache and let you know what is happening on our doorsteps, what's happening to your neighbors, what's happening to your fellow Americans. And there is a way to prevent this, and it's not by continually lying to you and telling you that there isn't a problem. There is a problem. It's a national emergency, and thank you.
And thank you. I can't thank all of those angel parents. There were mothers, there were fathers, there were members of law enforcement who were there who had lost children to drugs because of this crisis. So we do have to be mindful of it. Yes, the Constitution needs to be loved and respected and protected, but we also need to love and respect and protect each other. And that starts with the border. Till next time, testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Lori FND says she just tweeted Ron Phillips. So hashtag Ron Phillips will never be a successful movie critic.
No, I won't.
It's, you know what? It's Monday. It's kind of, weekends should be longer. 2 days is not nearly enough time to recover from what we've turned the work week into. I say we move for a 3-day weekend, a 4-day work week.
Part of my deal is like, for instance, this weekend, because it was so nice, I guess it was yesterday, late afternoon, my brother and I decided to get out on our motorcycles for the first time in a few months. God, dog, is that nice?
Until you drive by a skunk.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, quite honestly, we drove by a dairy field or a dairy farm. I mean, even those smells are quite the getaway from the routine that we have every week.
Well, and it's different than driving by one in a car. When you drive by one in a car, you can turn it on recirculated, and you never smell the skunk or the dairy farm. But when you're on a motorcycle, woo, that stays with you.
But it goes away pretty quick because you're moving on as long as you don't stop and smell the roses at that point. But being on the motorcycle occupies your mind because you're driving defensively the whole time.
Yeah.
That's like flying for me. That's what when I took pilot training and then flying, those two things, motorcycle riding and flying planes, take my mind off of the stress of work. And it was just, I hadn't been on my motorcycle in probably 6 months. Finally got on it. Really, really fun. Really nice.
I bought, and I hadn't ridden a motorcycle in probably 20 years when I bought my Yamaha. Yamaha. It was an 1100. I got it about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, at least. And so they delivered. I bought it on, did I buy it on eBay? I think I did. Paid like $5,000 for it.
Was it used or new?
It was used.
Oh, okay.
It was used. I mean, it was just as nice as a. No, I'm not going to say I'll piss all the Harley. Never mind. Sorry.
Sorry. You what?
I never made the comparison. 'Cause I just don't want to deal with the arguments back and forth. But so I get this.
I'm sorry.
bike.
I think I heard you say Harley.
Nope, sure didn't.
That's what I have.
Get this delivery. I know you do. HD, $100 bill every time. So I get this thing
it's actually
delivered.
A nice bike.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's just 5 times as expensive as a Yamaha.
It might be a little bit more expensive.
And I can get rice anywhere I need it, and it'll burn it just fine. So I get this 1100 delivered. We had an office on Music Row at the time, and they delivered the bike. And again, it's 1100, so it's a big 700-pound bike. And so I decide, all right, I'm going to ride this thing home, which normally in a car would take me 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it was an hour and a half later that I finally got to the house, because I had, again, having not ridden in quite a while, 700 pounds underneath you and all these idiots on 4 wheels all around me. Oh, it was, that was harrowing.
But it's like riding a bicycle.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
you really never forget.
No, you don't forget. It's
just
it's all the people around you. If you're in an open field, that's one thing. It's all the people on 4 wheels around you that are another one. And it was just a little nerve-wracking on the way home. But I miss having a motorcycle.
I'm going to start riding these days. I mean, once it gets a little warmer in the mornings, I'm a kind of a fair weather rider. My brother will ride if it's 30 degrees outside, but for me, it just takes 30 minutes to get ready to get on the bike.
Yeah, that's very chilly. They found some similarities in those plane crashes, by the way.
The Ethiopian and the 737 ones. Okay.
Apparently, it has to do with I guess the plane trying to overcorrect. So,
it was the autopilot that was causing.
Well,
it, right?
Yeah, but the autopilot apparently has something to do with the landing gear and the angle of attack on the nose. And
right.
So they because the pilots
kept wanting to put it into.
It kept wanting to put it down.
Descent,
the pilot had to keep correcting, putting the nose back up, and they had to do this several times, and eventually the plane won. Essentially,
wow.
Yeah. So
is it because they just wouldn't turn off the autopilot and they kept trying to let it correct itself or try to?
Good question.
Wow.
The black box of the most recent Ethiopian flight, that was damaged so badly that they had to send it to the manufacturer to see if the manufacturer could figure out exactly what was going on in the minutes beforehand. So, yeah, that's a tough one. And the president is not very happy with General Motors. Yeah, they closed a plant in, I think it was Lordstown, the plant where they made the Chevy Cruze, and he wants it open again. The last Chevy Cruze rolled out, it was Lordstown. It went down, last week? No, March 6th, actually. And this plant is sitting empty. And the thing is, he wants it open. So it'll be interesting. Are we calling Dan or is Dan calling us?
Well, that's what I was looking at.
I just got a text from him. He said he's standing by whenever. So,
well, tell him to call.
Well, Dan, if you're listening, call.
Yeah, I don't have a phone number.
The number is 202-900-5900. 202-900-5900. Yeah, it's a new phone number. So, and it spells. Remember, this phone number spells 900-5900. So if you ever have trouble remembering, you just remember 2 900s with a 5 in the middle, or giraffe. It does not spell giraffe. The Chevy Cruze, the last one, rolled off the line, I guess, March 8th. and this thing has been sitting idle. And the president, although I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, as much as it would be nice to see these jobs again, of course, come back. General Motors blames the United Auto Workers Union, and the Auto Workers Union actually is sided with the president in this situation. They have no immediate plans, that is, GM does, has no immediate plans to retool or reconfigure the plant for another vehicle. They announced in November it would idle 4 factories as part of a shift toward SUVs and trucks, as well as investing in electric and autonomous vehicles. The Cruze will be discontinued in North America. The Chevy Cruze was not, and they haven't done anything. General Motors, I can't think of a car that they've really put together that is all that great. I mean, even the Camaro is, the Corvette. Are you a Corvette fan?
Actually, I'm not. Not that I don't like them, because I like that look, but I did. I got to drive one time, and I did not like that whole feel like I'm sitting on the ground thing. Number one,
but you like riding a motorcycle?
No, yeah, but I mean, it was just too hard to get down into the car. It's one of those things where you actually have to get down on the ground to get in the car.
You have to crawl into it. The last time I drove a Corvette was an 80s model, and the thing sounded, every time you go over a railroad track, it sounded like it was falling apart.
That's exactly right.
I guess they've made them tighter.
The suspension was so tight on that thing. But I drove one for a parade one day, and don't get me wrong, I liked the car itself, and I liked the look of the car, but honestly, I just don't think I would own one.
No. Plus, they're really expensive. I think there's Dan right there. As soon as I can figure out how to... my mouse isn't working in here. Can you answer it? Good deal. Dan Andros should be... Dan, how are you? Hello, Dan. Well, I guess she's not there yet. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, in the meantime, she says, well, what good are your prayers when they don't even keep the pews safe? There we go. There it is. Dan, are you with us? For whatever reason, I can't hear Dan in here. There's Dan. Dan, you there?
Can you hear me now?
Ah, there you are. There you are. How are you, Dan? Good to talk to you.
I'm doing great. How are you, Brad?
I'm fine. It's Monday. Yeah, so it's, the worst thing about Monday is having to dive back into all of the idiots, the idiots in the news. Dan is with FaithWire, first of all. So if you haven't been to faithwire.com, please do. And Dan and I used to work together at the other place. Dan, what is up with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? She's putting her foot in her mouth again.
Yeah, which seems to happen a lot. And I will concur, Brad, that Monday is, you kind of go Saturday and Sunday, and you sort of, if you're able to stay away from Twitter and you're able to kind of stay off social, you start realizing that life is actually kind of good.
Yes.
Everything's pretty good. You know, you got your kids, you got your family, you got your friends.
Yeah.
You're enjoying some things outside. Mm-hmm. And then you get back on Twitter and you realize everything is a total hot mess disaster.
Yeah. It's truly amazing. And there are days I wish Twitter and Facebook did not exist. It was nice when the weekends could be taken and just be nice and quiet and you could do your own thing, but it doesn't happen that way anymore. So AOC was actually, I guess she was taking a shot at conservatives, but it wasn't taken that way.
Well, she's just the latest in, first of all, I'm not sure why suddenly, I guess it's just because she has this huge social following, but it's just bizarre to me that everyone's looking to her as this sort of source of knowledge. It's it's okay. I don't understand this mentality, especially from her, where she's suddenly out there grilling people, and not doing a very good job, on in hearings and those sorts of things. And it's like, can't you just take a breath and maybe get the lay of the land there in Congress for a few minutes before you start acting like you know everything? That's what bothers me the most. It's okay to be a rookie. It's okay to be a freshman and not maybe, clearly, it's great to have some passion issues for yourself, but just calm down a little bit. Take a step back, let the leaders, that have been there a long time lead a little bit, and then inject where you can. Like, I think she's overstepping a little bit, and she did so on this one, when she said, as you quoted, that what good are your thoughts and prayers when they don't even keep the pews safe? And so this argument, other people have parroted this. This is a common leftist trope these days. And so I wrote about it on FaithWire, and because it really bothers me, because it literally makes no sense if you actually think about it. Because first of all, you should appreciate prayer, because for them to sit there and say that prayer can't do anything. Now, even if you don't believe in God, let's at least take it. Give people of faith, just put yourself in their shoes and what they believe.
Right.
That they're appealing to the God of the universe who created everything just by speaking. So it's ludicrous to suggest that God can't do anything about keeping the pews safe. I mean, that's just absurd. So at the very least, even if you don't believe, you should appreciate people appealing to the one that they understand can do literally anything.
Sure.
So it's kind of silly to mock it in the first place. But also, the other part of that is you can absolutely do both of those things. These are not mutually exclusive items that can't coexist. You can sit there and offer a prayer and a condolence, which is a completely appropriate thing to do in the immediate aftermath of a tragedy. It makes
it's comfort. It's comforting. It's comforting to the victims. It gives you, it gives the person who on the outside, it gives them a feeling of there's not much else I can do. You're in my thoughts. I'm praying for you. It's a sentiment of comfort, which that's a basic human emotion.
Right. And so somehow the left has latched onto this as anytime somebody offers prayers, that this is some big no-no. Oh, there they go, offering prayers again, in place of action. Now, you have to define action for this to make any sense whatsoever, which is still a stretch. But what is action? For them, it's some magical common sense gun control reform. And so I have yet to hear an actual reform measure that actually would stop most of these shootings. When you look and examine, and Dana Lash is someone who breaks these things down all the time. Obviously, she's with the NRA now, but she's long made these arguments and discussed this, and others have as well. But when you break down every one of these shootings, almost every single time, none of these law measures that they propose would have done anything.
No, because bad guys don't follow the laws. That's the I don't understand why in the world the left doesn't seem to understand that. And you cannot possibly, there isn't a way on God's green earth to prevent somebody from getting their hands on a gun, a bad guy.
Or if they're just law-abiding citizens and they haven't done anything up until that point, like how can you possibly know? I mean, short of having the precog machine and the little balls coming down the thing, like, the thought crime, how would you know when someone's going to go off the rails suddenly and do something? You don't know. And so these common sense reforms often don't fit. And so what they're doing is they're acting and using rhetoric that makes it seem like there's this magic reform out there that's going to stop all this. Kim Kardashian tweeted, when the New Zealand person said they're going to ban semi-automatic weapons, the New Zealand PM or whoever it was that spoke out after tragedy. And she said, hey, finally, a politician who gets it. We can stop this. No, you can't. No, you can't. And even if you banned guns, even if you completely banned them, took them all away, we all know we have too many guns to do that, but let's just hypothetically say you took them all away. What are they doing in England right now and in Europe? They're running people over with cars.
Yes.
They're stabbing people with knives.
Yes, but knives are illegal. Knives are illegal on the street in England. So, it makes no sense.
So you cannot legislate evil out of existence.
No.
You just can't do it. And so that is the actual problem. So we're sort of chasing this unicorn here, when we're having this debate. And in the process, we're needlessly mocking prayer. It's a silly line to go on, and it's one that bothers me greatly because it dismisses what most of the country actually believes in. Most of this country, it's still 70-some% identify as the Christian faith. So, and most people overwhelmingly are believers. Yes, there are increasing numbers agnostics and atheists, but they're still an extreme minority of this country. And so to sit there and have the gall to demean a key tenet to the faith of most people is really appalling. And so that's why I kind of tackled it.
It is, and you can read Dan's post on faithwire.com about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It shows her in her inexperience and the fact that she's starting to believe her own press. And I think that's the biggest problem. And when they get to that point, it's the pro sports player with $80 million in their bank account and the trouble they get into. There's something to be said for experience.
And Brad, and the other thing is you can tell when someone has yes men around them because they constantly walk into landmines like this, and you can tell they're not measured because they have power. Like she has power, and because of her social media presence and the amount of attention she gets on anything she says, it's similar to on a slightly smaller level to how Trump is with his huge Twitter account. Like she tweets something, she's got millions of followers now, so it's going to get at, and everyone knows right now that, and then it's just created this vicious loop because, somehow she got the social media following, and now everyone's got to report on what she says because it's going viral every time she says something. So, everyone knows now they'll get clicks. So now it's like, okay, she's a click machine. And she's got this social media presence, so we have to pay attention to her. So she's got that power, and if you don't have people around you checking you and saying, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea, maybe we need to dial it back. If no one has the courage around her to sort of step out and be that contrarian voice, to sort of slow down, then it's just gonna keep going the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's a Rule 5 violation. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And speaking of sticking their feet in their mouth, first I want to move on to Beto O'Rourke, but first I wanted to play this from this is 1979. This is Ronald Reagan, and it's about a minute or so long. Listen to this.
Government cannot be clergyman, teacher, and parent. It is our servant, beholden to us. We who are privileged to be Americans have had a rendezvous with destiny since the moment in 1630 when John Winthrop, standing on the deck of the tiny Arbella off the coast of Massachusetts, told the little band of pilgrims, "We shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us, so that if we shall deal falsely with our God in this work we have undertaken, and so cause him to withdraw his present help from us, we shall be made a story and a byword throughout the world. A troubled and afflicted mankind looks to us, pleading for us to keep our rendezvous with destiny, that we will uphold the principles of self-reliance, self-discipline, morality, and above all, responsible liberty for every individual, that we will become that shining city on a hill."
A little eerie there. He may have known, his speechwriter knew a little something about what it was really all about, and people like to mock Reagan now, and you contrast that with Beto O'Rourke, and it's just during his announcing his candidacy last week. First of all, you had to wear a helmet if you were anywhere close to him, and he never once mentioned God in his entire announcement.
No, and it's not just him. And I'll get back to Beto and his statement, but as the Atlantic pointed out, it's interesting. All the white progressive candidates, Beto, Bernie, Warren, there's a million of them. So whichever other white ones out there, they all didn't mention God. And then, especially at the end when you kind of give a soaring, send off sort of at the end of the thing, like in God, God bless America, sure. God bless you. They don't do that. The only time they mention faith is when they're mentioning it as part of a lineup of divisive categories.
Right.
Well, in spite of our differences in faith, like that. That's the only time it's mentioned. And so the only two that do still do it are Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, which is interesting. But back to Beto, when you compare it to Obama, so he kind of went on the Green New Deal thing in his speech there, talking about how we basically have to act or else, elect me or else in 10 years,
we're all
going to
die.
be dead.
Yeah.
Obama was using similar, obviously, albeit a little bit more grandiose and eloquent in the writing and everything. But he still did the thanking God and all that at the end. He at least stuck to that, despite saying he was going to make the oceans go back and all that stuff.
Yes.
But Beto here said at one point there at the end, he said that we're the last great hope of Earth.
Right.
And
yes.
So he was talking about his movement and this campaign, and I just find this to be increasingly disturbing for a couple reasons. Because one, you combine this with the mocking of prayer that AOC was doing, and you have more and more people doing that. And then you have this move to remove God from the equation, and then replace it with government heads like Beto, like, hey, like me, we're the last hope. I mean, this sort of framing is incredibly dangerous because, look, we're human beings. And we all know politics. You're not going to go in there. No one's going to go in there, no matter how awesome they are. No one's going to go in there and just sit there and rattle off all these amazing policy wins and fix everything. It's just not going to happen.
No, of course not.
So, so you're setting yourself up to build hope around yourself. Same way Obama did. Hope with the hope poster always disturbed me. Why is hope on me? And so everyone points to themselves for hope. They're just setting themselves up for a big letdown, and you're going to get desperate people who go, oh my gosh, you said we were going to die in 12 years or 10 years if we didn't do X, Y, and Z. We're not doing X, Y, and Z. Now what?
Right.
So
yeah.
You're creating this place where people they're going to be hopeless and they're going to be desperate by using this exaggerated fear-mongering language and then putting the hope on yourself when you're inevitably not going to be able to deliver what you say.
Right.
And then what?
It's a recipe for failure.
Desperate. Yeah, and a recipe for crazy people to do crazy things. Now, I'll never blame the person for, I'll never blame Beto or for, causing a crazy person to do crazy things. But you're certainly making it easier for them to get desperate by using that sort of language. So I just don't think it's helpful at all. And, from a faith perspective, I just think it's a bad idea to place all of our hope on ourselves and ignore God out of the equation.
Right. Yeah. That story never ends well. When you start putting, when you put your faith in human beings, in fellow flawed human beings, without an underpinning of faith of some higher power, it doesn't. Whatever your belief of a higher power is. If you can't have some of that in the equation, you are setting yourself up for failure. Did you saw Fallon do his impression of Beto? I got to.
Well, Beto. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I got about 30 or 40 seconds I wanted to play for you here.
Hi, I'm Beto O'Rourke, and I'm excited. That's it. I'm just excited. Oh, yeah, I'm also running for President of the United States. I love the United States, and I love running. In fact, I literally just ran 8 miles to get here. Folks often say to me, we don't know much about you, Beto. We know you ran against Ted Cruz in Texas. We know you're hot. And then usually the hot thing comes up again. But who's the real Beto O'Rourke? Well, I'm sort of like if a compassionate head nod turned into a person.
I just thought that was so rarely is late night television funny anymore. Fallon's take on this was just hysterical, which makes me wonder if is he? I wonder if he's a Beto supporter.
Well, yeah, it's really interesting to me. First of all, it is great when we see these late shows attack the left because they purposely didn't do it. Remember Obama? They said couldn't find anything funny about him, and it's like, come on, like there was plenty. Like that was a great example. He was slightly high energy, and he's a little over the top with the hand motions. Easy to make fun of. Obama, you could have been the same way, but it would be great if they did that more because then it would make the jokes on the right. It would make it more easier to swallow. Because if you knew they were doing it to everybody, then it would be more fun and everybody could enjoy it. But you just know it's usually so one-sided. It's not. So that was great to see, and it was pretty hilarious and spot on. But it's interesting to me, Brad, because I don't know what to make. Beto is the guy. He's like the movement guy. He's got the hat. Like, Beyonce was taking pictures of him. He was on Ellen already. He raised a ton of money. So on the one hand, this guy's like the one that they kind of the undercurrent around like the Democratic sort of who's the movement person, it seemed to be pointing to him. But it's interesting that Fallon, went out there and then said, you know what, we're gonna just have fun with this. So I don't know if he's gonna be the guy that comes out or not. I kind of thought he was, just because of the way they were framing him. Right. He's got all the fancy shots and he's got the hero shots all over the place. Obviously, hiring high-priced camera crews for some of these images to be portrayed. Like, he's got this incredible movement going on.
If he can just keep his foot out of his mouth and the comments he made about, which I thought his attempt at humor, my wife raised our kids sometimes with my help, which is a legitimate, it could be funny, depends on how you deliver the line. Right. Then he folded under pressure. When people started getting down on him, he's like, well, I'm sorry. I was showing my white privilege. I mean, it's just it's crazy what's going on. I got just about 30 seconds left, but what else is going on over at FaithWire?
Oh man, well, we've been covering obviously this horrific shooting. Covering a lot of the good parts of that, which are the hero stories that are coming out of that. We've got some inspiring stuff from Lauren Daigle, who was talking about anxiety. A great testimony there from Jackie Hill Perry, talking about where our identity should be. And we've got all kinds of stuff coming up here later today as well. But cool. Always looking for things from the faith angle and looking for ways to encourage and inspire you in your walk with God, and as we go about our day-to-day here trying to navigate this crazy world.
No kidding. And it gets crazier every day. Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Brad.
You bet. It's at Dan Andros on Twitter. This entire half hour has been brought to you by Patriot Mobile. If you don't yet have a Patriot Mobile cell phone account, what are you waiting on? Good grief, man. PatriotMobile.com/doc. Actually, some of your money goes to conservatarian causes, not like the left. This is your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Investigators in New Zealand releasing more information about last week's deadly attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch. Police Commissioner Mike Bush saying it was apparently a lone wolf assault.
I want to definitely state that we believe that there was only one attacker responsible for this horrendous event.
Police believe the attacker is a 28-year-old Australian man who is in custody. New Zealand's Prime Minister says efforts are already underway to toughen the country's gun control laws.
Within 10 days of this horrific act of terrorism, we will have announced reforms which will, I believe, make our communities safer.
The massacre claimed 50 lives, dozens of people wounded. Dutch authorities investigating a possible terror attack. It wounded multiple people in the city of Utrecht. Police, including heavily armed officers, flooding the area after this morning's attack at a busy intersection. Floodwaters swamping parts of the Midwest.
Heavy rainfall and melting snow have led to dangerously high water in creeks and rivers across several Midwestern states, with the Missouri River hitting record levels in many areas. At least 2 deaths have been blamed on flooding, and 2 other men have been missing for days. Thousands of residents across parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin have been forced to evacuate. More record crests are expected in various rivers by tomorrow. I'm Matt Small.
Ethiopia's transport minister says there are clear similarities between the crash of an Ethiopian jetliner and last year's crash in Indonesia that involved the same type of plane, the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 33 points, S&P futures 3 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes, Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Bottom line, if you want to lose weight, go to riduzone.com. That's R-I-D-U zone.com. Riduzone has helped countless people lose weight, and they can help you too by boosting your metabolism and making you feel a little bit fuller naturally. Riduzone.com.
So let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, it's Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. You know, everyone lives with a little bit of pain, but living with diabetes can be a real pain. While you may have to test your blood sugar and take insulin, ordering your testing supplies shouldn't be one more pain you have to deal with. At least it's not when you work with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to purchase your supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements to figure out what they cover. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with, too. So why don't you give Diathrive a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes? They're so convinced that you'll love their service that they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code MATT, that's M-A-T-T, at checkout. Be sure to head out to the web right now and check these guys out. It's Diathrive.com.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50. Mothership has landed.
I think I finally figured out why Brandon can't get here on time.
Why's that?
You just tell me your fiance, you give her control of the alarm clock. You need to march right back into that home of yours and you tell her who's in charge.
That's
you
right.
march in there and
I'm going to walk in there
her.
and I'm going to be like, listen to me.
Yes.
Brad Staggs is in charge around here.
No. You're in charge.
Me?
You go in there.
Bad.
You say,
bad.
honey, I love you, and I am in charge of things from here on out.
Oh, are you going to tell her?
I will visit you in the hospital.
Yeah, are you going to tell her? Well, why don't you tell her that?
I'll bring you fruit. I'll bring you a nice fruit basket, and you'll be just fine. They say recovery only takes 6 to 8 weeks for multiple broken bones.
You know what? I'm actually late today because I decided that I was going to take a walk through the lovely highways of Dallas, Texas, all the way down to Fort Worth. The smell of car exhaust in the morning is
there's nothing like it.
And I just decided that why not take a walk, because it would be faster than driving. Yeah, I thought.
You walked here?
No.
Oh. I was gonna say,
but traffic moved.
Well, I was going to say, that's
slow enough that he could have walked. When you
started talking about walking, I was worried for your health. I mean, not the jogging thing, but
no, I don't do jogging. That's a little French for me.
It's deadly, But now they say that there's enough. There are more people dying from air pollution than from cigarette smoking. So I was concerned for your health, quite frankly. I mean, I don't want you to do things that are detrimental to your health and mostly detrimental to my workload.
Right.
Because if you're not here, then I have to work even harder.
Well, don't worry, Brad. I will probably never abandon you.
You know what? That shows me a lot, and I appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome.
That's very kind of you.
You're welcome.
They did a new study, and I can't find it now. It was in England, in Europe in general, that now air pollution is killing more people than cigarette smoke.
Really?
Yeah. So we're screwed either way.
Wait, hang on. Who reported that?
Shoot, where did it go? Oh, there it is, right there. It was the stand by 1 second. Toxic fog. This is researchers say sooty particles pumped out by vehicles, factories, and power plants. Main cause of dirty air. They estimate air pollution caused 64,000 deaths in the UK in 2015, including 17,000 fatal cases of heart and artery disease.
Good Lord.
Others included some cases of cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung disease. Average life expectancy in the UK was also reduced by a year and a half among those dying as a result of air pollution. The Brits were not as badly affected as some of their neighbors, including Germany, Italy, and France. So you see, we should aspire to be more like those countries. I mean, isn't that what we're always told? We need to be more like...
I feel like, if we could just be more like the smog-ridden countries.
Oh, yeah, or Venezuela. I mean, all of these shining examples of what we should be aspiring to.
Yeah, you want to know who has, not a lot of pollution? North Korea. Because they keep their factories off.
Right. That's right.
All right.
I mean, they don't...
I mean, they have nuclear pollution.
Well, there's that, but I mean, come on.
Those secret bases that are pumping out those nuclear missile tests and stuff like that, where they detonate it and then runs down in the stream, causes deformations, babies born with weird problems and stuff like that. Then in nature, they can't grow grass and trees anymore because of all the water, the toxic water.
Exactly.
But
other than that,
what they don't got?
It's a great place to vacation.
Smog.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
At least they're not in space. There's something in space that's triggering herpes in astronauts. You find this funny, dude. Tests show that dormant herpes viruses reactivate in more than half of the astronauts who travel on the Space Shuttle and International Space Station. According to new NASA research, phenomenon the space agency says could pose problems for deep space missions. During space flight, there is a rise in secretion of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which are known to suppress the immune system. This according to the study author Satish Mehta, a researcher at Johnson Space Center. In keeping with this, we find that the astronauts' immune cells, particularly those that normally suppress and eliminate viruses, become less effective during space flight and sometimes for up to 60 days after.
What? That's so crazy. Okay, so let me get this straight. You become more viral and less immune to it out in space.
Well, yes, and then that's. Did you not see the documentary Alien?
Out in space, no one can hear you itch.
That is Yep, right. And that's exactly how the alien got in.
That's true.
The astronauts had a reduced immune system, and it allowed the alien to crawl inside them and propagate. So these are things we need to be concerned with as we move forward with all of this technology. Before you take off for space, and before we get to your headlines, I do want to cite another study done here. By the way, it's National Nutrition Month.
National Nutrition Month.
March is National Nutrition Month. And the slogan this year is eat more whole grains, less refined grains. That applies to kids, adults, and senior citizens. How do you do that? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
You go to MoJoWildRice.com. That's how you do it.
Oh.
You see how it all ties in together. The 2015 to 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans set by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Unlike the old food pyramid.
Yeah, screw that thing.
Yeah, that was... U.S. Department of Agriculture recommend at least half of all grains consumed by adults be whole, which adds up to 3 to 5 servings a day. And that's the beauty of MoJo Wild Rice. You can serve it savory. You can when we did Black Friday, we had the chicken with it, and oh man, it's the one thing Chef Patrick's good for.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to make somebody a great wife. I mean, he can I almost consider marrying him when I think about the waffles with the chicken inside that he made with MoJo Wild. Oh, they were fantastic,
and his touch is so soft and tender.
Really, he's got very soft hands. Apparently, when you cook, you don't get calluses.
Yeah. Oh.
I hadn't thought about that, but that is a big advantage. Wow. See, I have calluses.
Oh, you do?
I can't cook,
well,
obviously.
Because you have those rough man hands. So
yes,
what you need is a counterbalance there. You need Chef Patrick's soft, tender, loving hands.
Yes. Tender and loving.
Yeah.
So go to MoJoWildRice.com and find out how you can get some of this stuff in your house today and start being a healthier. And it's not just about health; it's about good taste too. Who wants to eat cardboard? They said you could be healthier eating cardboard.
People who like Pizza Hut.
Well, there's that. As Doc would say, at least it's not hot and ready. Go to MoJoWildRice.com. Use the promo code SPRING10, and you'll get 10% off the entire set. Just like a leprechaun. Spring 10.
How was your St. Patty's Day?
Was that this weekend?
Yes, it was. Huh. Did you not know that? You just drink all the time.
I was wondering what those little bastards were doing on my front lawn. Little guys about this high. They kept hiding these gold things. And I thought it was Beto O'Rourke at first. And I thought, no, that's a leprechaun.
It was Beto O'Rourke. He came to bring you pot of socialism.
If he had brought any of it, if he had brought any gold to my door, I would have answered. All right, you ready for the headlines?
Let's do headlines.
Let's do headlines.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's
Brandon Morse.
Quick on the draw.
You know who used to who used to do all the intros and put them all together like this?
Yeah.
That would be Doc.
Yeah. Why isn't he doing it right now?
He's on vacation.
What a lazy ass.
He's in Disney and at the beach. Same time.
5 of these headlines I'm going to read to you. 1 is completely fake. You have to decide which one it is. Do not cheat.
Yeah, don't. I mean, that's no fun, and no one likes a cheater.
Don't look it up and then post the answers in the chat.
Don't be. Yeah, that's rule number 1.
Don't be that guy.
Rule number 1 violation.
Here's the first one. Gay swans attack anyone threatening their nest containing a plastic cup. A pair of gay male swans. Because swans are pretty gay anyway. I mean, they're not. I mean, even if they're straight, they're kind of gay, are they not?
Well, they're graceful. I don't know.
They're like way too graceful, man.
Are they as mean as geese though? I mean, because geese.
They can be like queens. They're a little queenie.
They are. They wear very flamboyant clothes. Yeah. I can see what you're saying.
A pair of gay male swans have been taken to an animal reserve after attacking several people at an Austrian lake. The swans were apparently protecting their nest, which, as opposed to an egg, contained a colorful plastic cup. The aggressive behavior started last summer, according to Klein Zeitung. This summer, they became even more belligerent, according to Franz Steiner. These are Steiniger.
Mm-hmm.
These are they're Austrians.
Yeah. Are Austrians as gruff as Germans though?
For the purposes of this article, they are.
I mean, I saw The Sound of Music, and what's his name was not. He wasn't all that gruff. It was the Germans mostly. What do you do? It's not the Tuma.
So it should be. It's Franz Steiniger.
It's not the Tuma.
Not the Tuma. Franz.
It's not the Tuma.
Mayor. Oh, he's the mayor. Just so you guys know, mayor of Grundlsee.
Well, see, that sounds.
You can't
gruff.
say Grundlsee.
Grundlsee.
That
doesn't work. You're right.
The pair have attacked everything that came their way, both on the shore and in the water. He told Klein Zeitung. They have thrown themselves on the swimmers, trying to submerge them. So they're trying to drown.
Damn.
Drown swimmers.
Wow, there's some pissed off
All to protect
swans.
a plastic cup.
That's not the way they look in Disney movies.
Some bathers even suffered cuts that required hospital treatment. Man,
do swans have teeth?
I think they have little, not like teeth. They don't have.
Right.
But just
not like a duck-billed platypus or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're mean.
Yeah, those are and they're poisonous.
Yeah.
New Iowa poll finds majority of Democrats would vote for a candidate named Bobby Cheeseburger. But who wouldn't? I totally would. Are you kidding me? Offering new insight into the preferences of Democratic voters, a poll released Tuesday by the Des Moines Register and CNN found that nearly 60% of likely Iowa caucus goers would support a presidential candidate with the name Bobby Cheeseburger.
How the hell did they even come to that conclusion?
I got to know why they came up with that. Like, they were just like, let's throw out some names. Let's see what we do in Iowa.
Well, yeah. Was it like, would you vote for Bobby Cheeseburger or Rat Poison Razorface?
or Beto O'Rourke?
Right, yeah. Yeah, those two, yeah. I'm voting for the Cheeseburger.
As many as 47% of those surveyed indicated that they'd vote for somebody called Bobby Cheeseburger in a heartbeat without even needing to know all of his policy positions. That's awesome. Said pollster Emily Jones, telling reporters that almost a third of Iowans believe a guy named Bobby Cheeseburger could use his homespun wisdom and commitment to American values to bring real change to Washington.
See, and this isn't okay. All right.
Do you not? But think about it.
Bobby Cheeseburger.
Bobby Cheeseburger. I would vote for a guy named Bobby Cheeseburger.
Is his running mate going to be Steve Cheddar Fries?
No. Actually, it's
Hamburglar.
You mean Ronald?
It's actually Sebastian McNugget who's running with him.
Well, then he's in.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you don't have
McNugget.
you do not eat a cheeseburger with McNuggets. You one or the other. That's mixing metaphors.
Let me correct your assertion
You
here,
do
sir.
not eat a cheeseburger with chicken.
Yeah, I'm on Brandon's side.
Let me
here.
go ahead and just. Have you ever been to North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay, there's the Cookout in North Carolina, or I can't remember what it. Yeah, I think it's Cookout. And there, you literally can get chicken nuggets as a side with your cheeseburger.
Why would you do that?
Along with whatever kind of milkshake you can imagine.
Make up your damn mind. Either it's a cheeseburger or it's McNuggets. You don't get both at the same time.
Why are you being such a meat fascist? You can have, if you want,
you eat fries
this is
with a
America.
hamburger.
You can have a cheeseburger with chicken McNuggets and any kind of dipping sauce you want.
Brad says that's un-American.
That is.
I'm sorry. I don't even think I have to say that.
This is ultimate America right now. We are going to fight over this because this is America we're fighting about right now.
See, I have the faith that comes with knowing.
I'm gonna. You know what? After this, I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger and I'm gonna get some chicken tenders with. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? If you want to mess with the equilibrium of the universe, you go right ahead.
Brad's like, why are you getting 2 entrees?
Exactly. It's like getting filet mignon and rack of lamb.
I'm an American, not an Americant.
Wow. Wow. The Utes of America are really screwing things up.
Help me out. Code Monkeys and Jackhole Nation. Help me out here.
I will have no faith whatsoever if they back you up. And I don't believe they will.
Oh, I think they will.
No.
I think they will.
No.
Cow runs away from Indiana police, blocks traffic, and goes to Chick-fil-A. Yes, that's true.
Okay, now again, we've got your chicken and your hamburger mix.
You can't stop progress, Brad. You can't stop progress.
Sure you can with enough time and money.
A cow temporarily halted traffic in a town just north of Indianapolis on Saturday, running away from police to the nearest quote-unquote safe spot, Chick-fil-A.
I guess I would be considered a safe spot.
Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken.
Yeah.
According to the Knoxville Police Department,
I
officers
just want to know, was it a black and white dairy cow?
No, it was actually all white.
Oh, well, it was just trying to get a hold of its white privilege.
That's right. That's what it is.
And what police department is it?
Knoxville.
Okay.
According to the Knoxville Police Department, officers were chasing a runaway cow from Campus Parkway before it crossed the street and waited by the fast food chain. Indiana resident Athena Hopkins caught the wild cow crossing the street on video. While quickly became a viral sensation, she posted it to her Facebook page.
I bet she did.
Yep. Yep. Okay. In Germany, drunk passenger demands high-speed train slow down.
Yeah, imagine what if they had done that here.
Oh,
I'd be sitting over there. You'd be in the afternoon.
German police say a drunken man with a fire extinguisher smashed his way into a driver's cab of a high-speed train running from Frankfurt to Paris and demanded that the driver slow down.
Are you becoming schizophrenic?
No.
I've been on that high-speed train from Frankfurt to Paris.
Yeah.
It's going pretty fast.
Is it?
I wouldn't ask it to slow down, but it's going pretty fast. If you're drunk and the stuff's whipping by you so fast, it's a blur anyway.
Yeah, you're pretty much at that point in time like, I'm going to puke no matter what. Federal police says that ice train operated by Germany's Deutsche Bahn.
A bank runs the train?
Yeah.
Deutsch? Oh, okay.
Da. I know that's Russian. Stopped near Frankfurt after the incident Sunday morning. The 30-year-old man from Heidelberg, who wasn't identified, was arrested and faces an investigation into dangerous interference in rail traffic, among other things.
We have ways of making you walk.
Among other things.
Should I did there?
We don't know what he did.
No.
But they're going to find out.
It was a high-speed train, though.
That's right. And the last one. Woman arrested after using T-shirt gun to launch drugs over prison fence.
Why haven't I thought of that before?
I know. It's so simple.
Like they use at the ball games?
Well, boom. Yes. That's a great idea.
It's so simple.
That right there is a sign of American ingenuity.
An Oklahoma woman was arrested after authorities say she used a T-shirt gun to launch drugs, cell phones, and other contraband over a prison fence.
Brilliant.
The Oklahoma Department of Corrections says the incident prompted a lockdown at the North Fork Correctional Unit in Sierra I don't know how to pronounce that. Sayre. Sayre.
It's not the tumor.
No. About 120 miles west of Oklahoma City, the agency says authorities arrested Carrie Jo Hickman, proper name for this kind of crime, I gotta say.
Carrie Jo Hickman.
Carrie Jo.
And now, prom queen, Carrie Jo Hickman.
After discovering the T-shirt gun and another package in her vehicle. Tulsa television station KOTV reports that the container was launched Sunday, contained cell phone earbuds, phone chargers, methamphetamine, digital scales, marijuana, and tobacco.
Pretty much everything you need in prison.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Hickman remained jailed Friday in Beckman County on complaints of introducing contraband into a penal situation, conspiracy and drug trafficking. Jail records don't list an attorney who could speak on her behalf. Well...
Why, can the woman not speak for herself?
Yeah.
Have we got to the point where the poor woman cannot even speak?
I know.
For
she needs a man to speak for her? I don't think so.
That is so sexist.
Hey, I have something for you to think about. Do you know those Amber Alerts that come across the phone?
Yeah, they scare the crap out of me at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. If you're standing in a crowded room, of course, everybody gets them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you're a prisoner in a prison and you have a cell phone, all of them freak out, I bet.
Pro criminal tip number 17, always keep your cell phone on silent if you're in prison.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's on silent. It's still going to go off.
It does?
Oh,
It
I'm pretty sure.
No, it doesn't go off. It's on silent.
Hey, Bob, why is your butt making such a loud noise right now?
Because it is a loud, obnoxious siren.
It's just gas.
If you're trying to smuggle that in and it does go off.
That could be a problem. That could be a problem. All right, so...
I guess that depends on how long you've been in.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got gay swans attack anyone threatening their nest with which contains a red plastic cup. Iowa poll finds that many Iowa voters would vote for a guy named Bobby Cheeseburger. Cow runs to a Chick-fil-A for safety. In Germany, a drunk passenger demands high-speed train slow down. And a woman arrested after using a T-shirt gun to launch drugs over a prison fence. Which one of these is fake? But first, Brad.
Oh, yes. And today is a great day because the APR coffee showed up.
Oh!
I don't know what the hell DM is thinking, sending all of these chocolate drops to us. That's just crazy. What is he doing?
Could it be that you bitched about not having them?
Was that me? Was that me?
I'm sure it was.
I can highly recommend the banana chip coffee drops, by the way. Oh, these are good. It's kind of a toss-up, really, between the banana coffee drops and the mint coffee drops. The mint... They are so good. And he sent not only did he send Timmy the Pilot's coffee over there, but he also sent a fresh supply of Doc Thompson's Uranus Hertz blend. I almost cracked this open, but I didn't. My non-wasteful side thought, no, there's one open in the kitchen, so I'm not going to do that. So this is unopened, so we're going to try this maybe tomorrow. So thank you, DM. And if you're listening right now and you want to get some coffee, you could drive through one of those places, or you could go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com and wait a week, to get your coffee and then have some. But see, if you'd been prepared, you'd ordered your coffee last week, you'd have it right now. So don't bitch about me for not being prepared with your APR coffee. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com. This one's on you. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Incredible coffee. Probably the best coffee on the planet, I would say. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. All right, Ron, guy behind the glass. What say you?
I'm going with Bobby Cheeseburger this morning, Chuck.
I can't.
Bobby Cheeseburger.
Bobby.
I'm going with a high-speed rail, demanding it to... No, crap. I can see somebody do that, too. The Swan.
It was a cross between that Bobby Cheeseburger and the cow going to Chick-fil-A, but I went with Bobby Cheeseburger.
No, I'm going with the high-speed rail guy. I'm going with a high-speed rail guy.
Was it my unconvincing German accent?
I just...
Quite possibly.
Although people are just that...
By the way, Peekapool, the Snarky Jackhole, said, you know who else was Austrian?
Hitler.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so the answer is...
Oh, hang on. Hold on.
Yeah, you were slow on the take. I had to do my own drum rolls there.
Well, you know where the button is.
I don't want to reach all the way over there. It's impolite.
It's just reaching around.
Bobby Cheeseburger!
Yeah.
All right, you get
What idiot freaking votes for somebody named Bobby Cheeseburger?
This guy!
Yeah. I mean, as long as it says Running Mates cheddar fries, I'm in.
So long as it's not Sebastian McNuggets. We don't
that
vote
would be
for that running mate.
stupid.
Now, look, I think that it's great that a cow actually went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's hysterical. You can't. You can't write that.
That's. I think that's the point we're
Chick-fil-A
missing.
should be using that story.
Yeah, if that means every other one of those stories is true.
Fun fact: my fiance's ad agency actually was the one who created the Chick-fil-A cows.
What?
That is a true story. The Richards Group. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, that's brilliant. It's brilliant advertising. They've had it for years.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant advertising, especially the 3D realistic looking cows that stand on the signs.
Oh yeah, the billboards.
The 3D realistic looking
3D
ones?
realistic.
You mean the big statues of the cows?
Yeah, those.
The statues.
Well, they're statues basically.
I mean, I
They're
guess you
fiberglass
could
statues.
consider them statues.
It's a cow statue.
Cownikins.
Cownikins. Mannequins. Cownikins is good.
I like that. I think that would work too.
Cownikins.
Cownikins.
Cownikins are good.
That works. So the swans really were.
They got nasty at people for approaching too close to a plastic cup that they liked.
Wow.
Swans are dicks, man.
Do not. Yeah. Well, I guess if they I guess they're a distant cousin to geese, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
In the least.
Yeah.
All right. So nice job. I don't. Have I won one yet?
Yes.
This is harder on this side than I really thought it would be.
You've won one, I think,
because the world is full of crazy crap.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff that I'm reading off comes from a place that lists unconvincing headlines, like stuff that you thought you'd read in the.
See, that's cheating. You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
Damn it!
I can do whatever I want, including get chicken nuggets with my burger.
Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
The left is at it again. They hate the idea of a border wall so much that they will do anything to convince you that President Donald Trump is lying to you about it, even if it means splitting hairs to do so. Let me explain. The Daily Mail reported last week that the Trump administration's U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency admitted that Trump, quote, has not built any walls to protect previously unbarricaded sections of America's southern border. They claim that the first new wall project, where no barrier currently exists, is not scheduled to begin until April. Trump has claimed in the past that, quote, we've already built large new sections of the border wall. It would appear that unnecessary distinctions are being made in an attempt to make it seem that Trump has not been truthful to the American public. A senior Trump administration official said that, quote, building walls where there were gaps or only small or ineffective non-wall barriers before is by definition building new walls. The same CBP official who spoke to the Daily Mail released a statement after the article came out in which he stated, quote, CBP has built and continues to build new border wall along the southwest border. To date, CBP has built 38 miles of new border wall system in San Diego and Calexico, California, Santa Teresa, New Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. Frankly, most Americans don't care whether the wall is being replaced, newly built, or a discussion is occurring about the next project needed to secure the southern border. So the next time you read an article from the left, make sure you check other sources for the truth first. And that's today's Reality Check with Susan Knowles.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
The Daily Mojo.
When did chokers come back? Or are they called chokers now?
Those the little black bands that they're wearing around their neck.
Women wear around their neck.
My daughter wears one. I don't know when they came back.
This Cheddar TV, which the thing about Cheddar TV, it's not staring at Fox or CNN, which is why I like it. But the anchor babe on there is wearing a choker.
I think the thing is it makes your neck seem slimmer.
Or is it short? Does she maybe have does she look like a giraffe?
Or maybe longer.
She's not
maybe,
wearing one?
No, actually, I think it would make your neck seem a little longer if you wear one.
Really?
Yeah.
By
maybe
hiding part of it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no,
whatever it is, I kind of like the trend. Gives you something to hold on to if they try to get away. You just grab the choker.
And this show got totally creepy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we back on the air?
Yeah, we're on.
Wow.
We're on.
Somebody should have told me. I would have. In Salisbury, North Carolina, a thrift store there has earned $1,000 off a hand-carved bedroom suite. Actually, excuse me. It's a bedroom suit.
Wait, what?
It's a bedroom suit. You know, when the room is the suite, the collection of furniture is the suit.
Oh.
I didn't know that either.
That's new
weird,
to me.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it's spelled the same damn way. This is one of those stupid English words that why couldn't they call it a set instead of a suit?
Yeah, I feel like that's why couldn't they just why are they gonna make it more complicated?
I don't know. So,
we already have one of the most complicated languages in all of the world, and we got to make it a little more complicated by calling something a suit instead of a set, like it should be.
Yeah, I know. So a thrift store in North Carolina got $1,000 for this bedroom suit because it might be haunted. Habitat for Humanity, this is either brilliant marketing. Habitat for Humanity, Rowan County's Restore warned would-be customers that the previous owner reported he and his wife had continuous nightmares while the furniture was in their bedroom.
Fun fact: this was almost one of the headlines today.
Was it really?
Yeah, I found it. I was like,
you know who told me about this one? Alexa. I was walking by the Alexa yesterday, and it popped up, and I was like,
So the Alexa just randomly offered that to you? It's like,
yeah,
Brad.
No, he has one with a monitor.
Sometimes furniture.
Sometimes she
things
shows
in your
me
house
things.
might be haunted.
If she walks by if you walk by and she goes, "Hey, psst, psst,
come here.
I got something for you."
I got something for you, baby.
Alexa would immediately be outside.
Take a look at this. Oh no, hell no! If I walked by, she said that, and it was. I'd be spending a lot more time in the living room. Dogs were also suspicious of the 1950s highboy chest of drawer. Highboy. There's another term you don't hear very much. Highboy.
Yeah.
Chest of drawers in the canopy bed. They would not stop. The dogs wouldn't stop barking at it. The director of operations, Elizabeth Brady, says two regular customers were intrigued and paid full price, but didn't believe the furniture was actually haunted. She said, as a Christian housing ministry, officials wanted to make a full disclosure to buyers that the furniture was said to be haunted. Well, now, wait a second. That's a kind of a contradiction in terms right there.
Yeah.
Because as a Christian, you're not the Christian. Isn't that one of those areas of faith that's like, okay, something can't be haunted? Or, because I've heard people go down both of these roads. See, I happen to believe in ghosts and all that. But some people, was it demons? And if it's demons, then why are you selling it to somebody else knowing? Why didn't you burn it?
Yeah, why didn't you burn it like you should have?
So, wow, she's not being very Christian.
Like we've never watched one episode of Supernatural. Good Lord. No, here's my take on this. My take on this is like you cannot... Look, I already have a problem thinking that a ghost can haunt a building, right?
You don't believe it can happen, or you do believe it can happen?
No, I don't believe it can happen.
Really?
Well, again, this goes back to my whole Christian belief that, like, there's nobody... Like, God either sends you one way or he sends you another, depending on your choice. And
you've never heard of limbo?
Well, but limbo is not your couch.
Do the limbo! And not that kind of limbo, by the way.
No, I mean, but the idea that, like, there are spirits, like, haunting the area, that they're just stuck here, that makes no sense to me. I don't think God would do that. Much less be like, hey, have you seen my ottoman anywhere? Yeah, it's currently floating in the living room, Bob.
Well, I don't think,
Well, bring it back down.
Have you never seen, like, shadow people?
What do you mean?
Like, you're sitting there, then you see, like, a shadow movement, and those are shadow people.
No, I've never seen that. Never seen a shadow.
Wow. Not lived.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, they're out there. I'm just saying, they're out there.
So you believe 100% that a ghost could... Do you think a ghost could haunt, like your desk?
I don't know about that.
Is there, like, a ghost currently, like, living in your microwave?
I don't know. I've never checked.
You should.
I mean, anything's possible.
You should. You could have a spectral bride situation going on in your dishwasher. Yeah.
Well, I hadn't thought about the possibilities there.
Well, just consider, like, did you do a strict background check on your home before you moved into it?
See, now, where were you when we bought the damn thing? Why? Now you tell me.
Yeah, well.
Unlike my young friend, the Brandon Morse over here on my left.
Which is my Twitter handle if you want to reach me on Twitter.
Right, exactly.
Brandon Morse.
Real Brad Staggs, will give you a heads up to such things like that bloated feeling you may have after you eat.
Oh, I hate that bloated feeling after I
the
eat.
bloated feeling sucks.
It's the worst.
They really do. And if you've been looking for something, I mean, it would control the bloating.
I have been.
Well, then I suggest lovemytummy.com. That's where you'll find the slightly French-sounding Autrantil.
Autrantil?
Autrantil. Teal is a color, awe is an expression, and Tron is a movie from the 1970s. So just remember an expression, a movie from the 70s, and color.
Got it.
And you'll remember Autrantil.
Autrantil.
Right. So the movie, the expression, the movie, and the color. Expression, movie, color.
Got it. Got it.
Or you can just go to Love My Tummy. If you remember Love My Tummy, that also works.
That is miles away simpler to remember.
It really seems to be.
Once you really get on, because it rolls around in the mouth pretty well, huh?
Wow.
Autrantil.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It certainly does. And Dr. Ken, who is actually the guy behind all of this, he has a show over on Spoonie.
What?
Is that on the weekends? See, I noticed that Ron was bending down underneath the counter over there, like working on some wires. So I thought I'd pick this time to ask him about Dr. Ken's show on Spoonie.
Yeah, that's when you want to really bother
What time's
somebody.
it on?
Go ahead and get up. Yeah.
Jeez, dude, I'm crawling around on the floor over here.
I know you are.
What question?
When Dr. Ken's show is on Spoonie.
Oh, it is at 10 a.m. Eastern. No, sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern on Thursday mornings.
I thought we were going to start using Central.
Well,
to defy the Eastern gods.
Did we decide that?
I decided that.
Actually, it is 10 a.m. Eastern. Sorry.
So it's 10 a.m.
9.
Yeah, 9 Central.
So it's 9 a.m.
Central. All right. Or if you're in California, it's 7 a.m.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
Dr. Ken.
The guys put together a really good show.
Excellent.
And he had quite a few listeners this week.
That's good.
Awesome.
He's a very interesting guy. Most doctors I try to avoid like the plague, but Dr. Ken, we had him on the program here, and he's a very informative and entertaining. In the meantime, if you'd like to try some Autrantil, and the more you learn about gut bacteria, I mean, you'll be fat. You'll be drawn right in.
Yeah.
Lovemytummy.com. That is lovemytummy.com.
We talked to the scientists who invented it, and I got to tell you, I didn't realize that gut germs,
it's pretty amazing.
Gut bacteria was
it's prevalent.
Yeah,
everybody has it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it can affect everything from depression to weight gain, weight loss, the whole 9 yards.
So Autrantil will help you balance that out. The Shotgun Avenger says cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets in the same meal? Sounds like breakfast to me.
Oh, come on.
Dude, Stephen Isles.
A bunch of communists?
He also agreed with me.
A bunch of communists.
Yeah.
That cannot be. Come on. You can't just read one and take that as a...
Jack Hole of Wisconsin said, with you, Brandon Morse. Oh, yeah, I don't think he's talking about that, though. Yeah. He said they've done studies on sightings, and mold is higher in those circumstances.
They've done what?
What was I talking about? Ghosts haunting your microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is Mojo Country said,
can't say that.
Not reading it.
See, isn't that funny? How those come in? Uh-huh. So I was over the weekend putting some more of the extensive collection of magic and things up on the eBay. And you know what? It is not easy running an eBay empire, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I came across this because I was looking at looking something up, and I discovered this about a guy named Sorensen Adams. He was called Sam. And he was a family man. He is, and this is written decades ago, probably close to 100 years ago. A God-fearing family man, quiet of dress, voice and manner, a model employer, and a careful driver. In his $250,000 factory at Asbury Park, New Jersey, 70 employees work overtime at an industry pioneered by Adams and solidly based on the raucous guffaw.
Yeah, I've been there twice.
Mm-hmm. On Sundays.
No, I haven't.
It was through his epoch-making, which, again, another word you don't hear enough of, discovery of sneeze powder around 1905 that Adams entered his singular profession. As salesman for a coal tar product, he noticed that it possessed a tremendously high sneeze potential, much greater than pepper. He began fooling with it for his own amusement. High spots were his sprinkling of this sneeze generator through hotel keyholes in a cafe where a wandering brass band was serenading, and at a trap shooting contest where he unnerved his competitors by dusting the powder near them as they took aim. In 1906, Adams decided to market the sneeze powder commercially, put up this stuff in the name of Kachoo, and sold it to the public for $1. Within 3 months of its appearance...
Kachoo the old god?
Kachoo. Exactly. Well, I think he was Mayan, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The one Philadelphia retailer bought 70,000 bottles of it. And remember, this is in 1906.
Wow.
So Kachoo, it was apparently it was around since the Civil War. Town fathers passed ordinances. School principals preached sermons. Editorial writers inveighed against Kachoo. But a laugh-hungry populace demanded more. The eagles screamed as this fair land reverberated neath the thunder of nasal broadsides. They just don't write like that anymore, do they? Then Sam Adams learned his first bitter lesson about the joker's novelty business. If you have something the people want, there will always be those eager to share your fortune. Within 2 months, the stripling sneeze magnate discovered that pirates had moved in and were murderously underselling him. The young Adams was not downhearted, however, not a bit. He abandoned sneezing to take up an even more explosive humor. The outcome was that side-splitting contribution to the American culture, the bingo shooting device.
Bingo shooting device.
Which is one of those things. It's a gadget. It's a little metal box, and it has like a little mousetrap thing in it.
Yeah.
With a cap. With like a cap from a cap gun.
Yeah.
So when you pick up the box, the thing snaps and it pops the cap.
Oh, that's not
so
good.
you pick it up and bam, it scares the crap out of people.
Yeah.
But if you've ever gone into a novelty store, a magic store, or whatever, and you've seen any of the Adams stuff, this is that guy. The amazing thing about this story, not only did he build an entire business off of stuff that was totally unnecessary, if you think about it, completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But during the Great Depression, when you would think that, American business was crippled as never before during the Great Depression. I mean, people were out of work. They never laid off one person.
Wow.
During the Great Depression.
They managed to keep it. Yeah, that's
they
good.
didn't. And they really, aside from just coming up with jokes and gags, that's all he did. And throughout,
so his entire thing during the Great Depression was just to make people laugh.
Laughter.
Well,
that stunned me. The fact that he could, at a time when everything else was collapsing around him, and the entire country for that matter, he actually could keep everyone employed.
Yeah.
Just by making things that made people sneeze, or whoopee cushions that made them sound like they were farting when they sat down, or the imitation poached egg. Actually, he said that the imitation poached egg was his one big failure. He says, I couldn't give the damn things away. He discovered it was useless to patent an easy-to-imitate item because they would...
which is weird during the, when you think about it, the Great Depression, because you figured people would at least buy them thinking they were food.
But what he did say that is that if he had something that came up like the bingo book matches, and this again was a book of matches with that same little gadget built in, so you pick up the matches, bam, scare the crap out, that he would patent that.
Good for him.
But it was the Japanese who would keep knocking stuff off. Now it's the Chinese.
It just sounds like something I should ring a bell for.
Yeah, it does,
I don't know
actually.
Why. By the way, just to interject real fast, Mississippi Jackhole and the MoJo 50 radio at me, we said, I don't know about a ghost in my microwave, but I bet there is a one-legged ghost in my dryer that needs only one sock at a time. That makes all the sense. Sorry, I had to interrupt with that.
No, quite all right. No, I was going to say, this is one of the things I came across. I considered putting this on eBay. I want you to read what it says there on the top of the, it's called something called the smoke glass.
It says smoke glass.
And when you open up the box, it's a box about the size of a shoebox, and it has in it a glass and two small bottles.
Oh,
what does it say?
Ammonia and hydrochloric acid.
Yes. That was actually sold at a magic store at one point.
So they're in these bottles?
Uh-huh.
So this is
ammonia and hydrochloric acid. And when you mix those two together, they come up with apparently it's a
God, they even have like the old I don't know if
it's a skull and crossbones.
There's like an X, like a big X on this one, and then on this one it's Yeah, it's like a caustic liquid warning.
Mm-hmm. It's not something that you would see in today's market.
Not at all.
Because it's...
And it goes in this brandy glass.
Uh-huh. And it does some sort of a magical thing, but I thought, wow, if you tried to market that today, can you imagine?
They would call you a terrorist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's
or like you're about to murder somebody. Like that's your... But, wow.
Hydrochloric acid sold in a...
That's a kidnap kit.
Yes, right?
That's a kidnap kit right there.
Don't tell anybody.
I am scared for my life right now.
Don't tell anybody. But there are all sorts of things that if you ever done this before, mixed different cleaners together.
Well, I've never wanted to bomb anyone, so I haven't.
Well, I mean, let's say like in your kitchen right now. Bleach and vinegar.
Is it weird that like my fingers are a little burny right now? What happened to that?
No, but your hair is on fire.
Oh, good.
But I started thinking about all these different chemicals you have right in your... Did you get some sneeze powder?
I just did, yes.
In your kitchen, in your house, if you mix bleach and vinegar together, you get toxic chlorine gas.
Mm-hmm. That's so weird.
Have you ever... and I did this years and years ago. It was like Clorox cleanup and Windex.
Yeah.
And I think that's the two. What it was, that would be ammonia and bleach. You get toxic chloramine vapors.
Toxic chloramine vapors?
Yeah. And that...
I'm learning so much stuff right now that's going to put me on a list.
Now, if you want to make chloroform, it's right there in your house. It's rubbing alcohol and bleach.
Uh-huh.
I mean, think about that. I mean, chloroform, that's the stuff that you knock somebody out with.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's the... Yeah,
exactly. If you need a good kidnap kit, that's it.
Jen Leah Butler says, wow, I'd love to inhale that because apparently Jen is into some weird stuff.
Really? What's she doing Friday night?
Jen?
Hydrogen peroxide in vinegar creates parasitic acid.
Parasitic?
They're parasitic. Parasitic. The two ingredients, commonly touted natural cleaning methods, you combine the two, and it's a corrosive acid. And again, that's hydrogen peroxide and vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Baking soda and vinegar, you get an ineffective cleaning solution.
An ineffective cleaning
solution? That was pretty funny. And if you, here's another thing. If you mix two different battery brands.
Like, what do you mean? Like when you say mix?
Like Energizer and Duracell, for instance.
Like you just take the batteries and put them together?
Yeah. No. If you put them in your remote, if you've got a Duracell and an Everready.
Right.
They say don't mix those because they could contain different chemical compounds and varying voltages, and when one of the battery dies, the other battery could continue discharging electricity, and it could cause them to leak.
Oh, is that why you had that corrosive stuff after a while sitting in there? That makes sense.
Yep. That can happen. Exactly. And that'll ruin your remote. You ever do that? You open a remote, and it's just got the green crap everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else they say? Oh, acetaminophen and alcohol.
I say that all the time.
Right? Irreversible liver damage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... Who needs the liver when you really get down to it?
She said, I just learned how... Jen Leah Butler said, well, Brandon just learned how to get a date.
See?
Man, where you're from, Jen, y'all do things interesting. I will say that. Y'all have a method that I'm not familiar with, but I've seen in movies.
So Beto O'Rourke stuck his foot in his mouth over the weekend. I don't...
Beto O'Rourke.
Little Beto. It's Robert Francis. It's just quicker. I know his name's Robert Francis O'Rourke. I get it.
We call him Francis, but it is way more fun to say Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke.
It does make more sense. He was at a Democratic presidential, one of his little campaign stops over the weekend, tried to make a joke.
Uh-oh. You don't do that nowadays.
Yeah, you can't make a joke. His joke about his wife drew heavy criticism.
Oh, no, he joked about a female?
Oh, yeah.
What a dumbass.
I know. He said basically that his wife, Amy, raised their 3 kids, quote, sometimes with my help. Okay. I mean, to me, that doesn't sound all that bad.
Oh, but Brad.
Well,
we live today in a world of...
was he being honest? I mean, that's the way... that's the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the offensive statement.
He was going out and making a living. He was doing his thing, you know, trying to provide the best for his family. But nowadays, you can't say stuff like that because apparently being a mother,
right,
a stay-at-home mother, is like so sexist toward women. It's a horrible thing to be.
It's hard work.
It is being less than the woman has the capability of being, apparently. And so you can't say things like that because it just means that Beto O'Rourke,
little Beto,
kept his wife down.
Yeah, he was the man holding her down.
Yeah.
What if she's wearing a choker?
Oh, that's a good question.
He made the comment at multiple campaign stops during his first swing through Iowa. So he's a swinger, apparently, including on Friday. He got laughs, but he also drew criticism as being insensitive to the challenges faced by single parents raising children.
Oh, my God, man.
O'Rourke said the criticism of his ham-handed attempt to highlight his wife's work in their marriage was right on.
I will be writing a defense post of I'm going to defend Beto. I'm going to defend him today at Red State.
Is this not the upside that we're in the bearded Spock world again? Because here I am. I'm on Beto's side on this.
Yeah,
what the hell did he say that was wrong?
Ridiculous, people. Come on.
He apologized for a lousy attempt at humor.
It wasn't a lousy attempt at humor. It was a good attempt, and it wasn't even an attempt. It was kind of funny.
And honestly, if he says my wife raised the kids sometimes with my help, he was saying I wasn't around all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. How is that?
He wasn't, and that's perfectly understandable given his career.
He said,
dumbasses.
Not only will I not say that again, but I'll be more thoughtful going forward in the way that I talk about our marriage.
Oh my.
Yeah, I read that. Not only will I not say that again, but I'll be more thoughtful on going forward the way I talk about our marriage, and also the way in which I acknowledge the truth of the criticism that I have enjoyed white privilege. I know.
Done. I'm out. Bye.
He pointed to his ability to walk away from 2 arrests as a young man without serious consequences as an example.
Your dad was a judge, homeboy. That's why you got to walk away. That's why.
So, yes, I think the criticism is right on. My ham-handed attempt to try to highlight the fact that Amy has the lion's share of the burden in our family, that she actually works, but is the primary parent in our family, especially when I served in Congress, especially when I was on the campaign trail, should have also been a moment for me to acknowledge that that is far too often the case, not just in politics, but just in life in general. I hope, as I have been in some instances, part of the problem, I can also be part of the solution.
Okay, this is the beta-ing of America right here. The beta-ing with the help of Beto. This pisses me off so bad. Look, this is just my sexist opinion, right? But I do believe that families function so well in a 2-parent household when the mother is at home raising the children. And this isn't just a belief. This has actually been proven by science. All right?
Science, bitches.
Science, bitches. Whenever the mother is out and the father comes in, he brings home the bacon, all right? And then he helps raise the kids when he's there. All right? This is a 2-parent household setup that has worked for eons. And the reason that it's worked for eons is because we're biologically programmed to do this kind of thing. All right, the mother is the nurturer, the child raiser, especially in the younger years.
Wow, have you met my ex-wife?
Have I? The father
I didn't say
goes
which one
out.
of them.
He's the hunter. He's the hunter. He goes out and he brings home the bacon
and fries it up in the pan.
And yes, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with this setup. The idea, the fact that the left looks down on motherhood like this pisses me off to no end. All right, and yeah, I get the single-parent house. I am so sick and tired of the single... Here's the thing. I completely understand, all right? I think that single mothers, they work their ass off and do what they have to do in order to provide the best for their children, and I really appreciate that, okay? But single parenting does not work as well as 2-parent households. This isn't just me saying this, okay? This has been proven time and again by science, all right? Studies and polls and everything. This is proven, all right? So what drives me crazy is that they're trying to promote motherhood, single motherhood over this 2-parent household. They're trying to eliminate the idea that the father has any importance whatsoever. Okay, and then you wind up with a higher crime rate and kids who don't succeed as well. Because for some odd reason, being raised in a single parent household just does not benefit them as well.
So we know how to wake the Brandon Morse up in the morning. We just mentioned a little of that.
No, because but then they turn around and they're also like, oh, but motherhood is also something we should look down on because women need to go out and make careers. They don't need to sit around and raise kids. That's degrading. No, it's not. The hardest job in the world is raising children.
Yeah, it is. It is.
F words.
Wow.
F words left and right.
He also, those writings that he...
I'm out of coffee.
Damn it. Well, the good thing that DM sent a whole bunch more. The writings that also unearthed over the weekend and late last week, the fiction that he wrote. Did you hear about that too?
I actually wrote about it at redstate.com. Yeah. Like the poem is funny. Did you hear about the poem that he wrote?
Oh, I can't wait.
So he wrote some stuff when he was around his teenage years, and then he became part of a hacker group where he wrote this poem that was awesome. When I say awesome, I just mean it's pretty hysterical. But the fantasy that he wrote was like a little sick.
It's a little weird.
Now here's my thing.
It's a lot weird,
and I'm going to talk about this in more detail. The Morse code.
Yeah, which immediately follows this broadcast, by the way.
I am 100% against holding something somebody did against them when they did it years ago,
unless it felt good.
Like this whole entire thing that he wrote. Do you have it pulled up? Or do you want to read it?
Let's get to that in the next hour because first I have to tell you about Era Capital Management.
Oh, I love Era Capital Management.
Because if you haven't started planning for retirement, I mean, you might find yourself, let's say, running for president and not being prepared for retirement. That's like your plan B is running for president. I don't have enough money for retirement. I'm going to run for president. They make a fairly good chunk of change as president.
Oh.
$400 and some odd $1,000. I mean,
that's not much in today's.
That's
nothing.
Actually, it's an underpaid position, quite frankly.
With all the with all the the GoFundMe projects out there that you got to give money to, and then you're expected to have not get a paycheck because you're already a rich corporate CEO. How many times have you run into that problem?
Or maybe if you are lucky enough to invent such a thing as sneeze powder, or maybe the fake poached egg.
The government wants a piece of that.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you can't invent sneeze powder without everybody wanting a piece of you. Unless you come up with some brilliant invention between now and the time you have to retire and you can sell it for gazillions of dollars, you better be saving money. You better be saving at least a few pennies every paycheck because retirement comes faster than you know. You get up one day and damn, where'd that gray hair come from? What's left of my hair? Go to eracapitalmanagement.com. They can help you out with a plan. And the best time to start a retirement plan was 20 years ago. Second best time, today.
Yep.
So don't panic if you haven't started. Don't get into my situation where you you need your lawn mowed, by the way.
I don't have a lawn. I live in Dallas proper, and
I could come over and mow the lawn for $20.
Oh, really?
Same as downtown.
You know what we really need is because apparently I don't know why the city of Dallas doesn't. Just go ahead and
eracapitalmanagement.com. Eracapitalmanagement.com. Please, if you have not yet started a retirement plan, today is the best day to do it. eracapitalmanagement.com.
Era Capital Management LLC is a registered investment advisor. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Visit eracapitalmanagement.com or call 509-559-6229. That's 509-559-6229 or visit eracapitalmanagement.com.
So you're saying that red, all my money on red on the roulette wheel is not a good idea?
Not necessarily. It
You
could.
should have told me that before this weekend. Wow. This is your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As her government prepares tougher gun control laws in the wake of the deadly attack on 2 mosques, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is encouraging citizens to voluntarily hand over their weapons.
You can surrender your gun to the police at any time. In fact, I've seen reports that people are in fact already doing this. I applaud that effort.
Ardern says a revised gun control law should be ready within 10 days. Police say it appears there was just one gunman in last week's attack in Christchurch. 28-year-old Australian man is in custody. Dutch police looking for a gunman who opened fire this morning at a busy intersection in the city of Utrecht, wounding multiple people.
Utrecht authorities say on Twitter that a number of people have been injured as a result of the shooting in a tram in a residential neighbourhood of the city. Trauma helicopters are at the scene and police are appealing to the public to stay away to allow first responders to do their work. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
President Trump travels to 2 states this week, states that are crucial to his reelection.
On Wednesday, the president will visit Ohio to discuss military spending and its impact on jobs at a tank manufacturing facility in Lima. He'll also attend a fundraiser in Canton to benefit his reelection effort and the Republican National Committee. Then on Thursday, Mr. Trump heads to Grand Rapids for a political rally. The president won both Ohio and Michigan in 2016, and they'll be key states again in 2020. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Parts of the Midwest are reeling from historic flooding. The high water is blamed for at least 2 deaths in Nebraska, where hundreds of homes have been seriously damaged. Entire communities have been cut off by the floodwaters. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are down 47 points. S&P futures up 2. NASDAQ futures currently 1 point higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. And if you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org. The 3, which is a threesome.
Yes.
But a full, I guess, foursome. And then 5-some. And then gangbang.
You're in no man's land.
Yeah.
No, you're in a lot of men's land. A lot of men's.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U-Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com. R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches. Mothership has landed.
All right, they just mentioned it in the news, but there is a shooting in the Netherlands. It's in the city of Utrecht. Police there at central Dutch city of Utrecht said they were investigating a shooting on a tram, left at least one person dead, several others injured as an attack with a possible terrorist motive. And before, and as Doc would say, everybody, it's time for everybody to go to the corners. You know, we got to talk about gun control. And so forth and so on. But I did want to point out the fact that the Netherlands is one of the most strict countries when it comes to firearm ownership. So owning firearms is considered a privilege, not a right. It's restricted to law enforcement, hunters, and target shooters. If you want to own a gun there, you have to have a valid reason, and you have to give that valid reason to the police. It must be either hunting or target shooting. If you say self-defense, you won't be permitted a license. Using a gun to deter non-armed intruders is also a violation of the law and will get you in trouble in court. If the intruder is armed with a gun, you are allowed to fire back. Well, that's some good news. So there you go. There's your shooting in the Netherlands and the gun control laws there.
I actually spent most of Saturday getting yelled at by people in the UK about our gun laws because of the New Zealand shooting. And I got to tell you, they have no concept of what owning a gun can do for you when you're the good guy. You know, like they honestly, and this is
save your ass from the bad guys.
Well,
what it can
because
do.
this was repeated to me many, many times by this. It's always the good guy with the gun idea is bull. Like, it's not real. You're an idiot. And I'm like, no, guys, you can actually look it up. Do a simple Google search. FBI, they keep track of this kind of stuff. There are websites that dedicate entire pages to just talking about the good guy with the gun scenario paying off. And there is at least an article a day. Now, those are just the days, or those are just the stories that we catch. How many times does somebody use a gun and then nothing gets reported because nothing happened? Or they just flashed the gun and that was that, Gun saves lives.
Yeah.
Period.
If some bad guy's coming at me with a gun, I certainly want to, I don't want to have if I only had a knife, I guess I'd work with that. I would like to have a gun to shoot back if he's shooting at me.
But the other weird concept, they have no concept of personal freedom. They are of the mind that things can and should be taken from you. They should be able to tell you, the government should be able to tell you what to do at all times.
Well, of course they should. The government knows best.
Because that to me as an American at least is a foreign concept. What is it, a bunch of people who have never met me who wear stupid suits and talk in platitudes and stuff are going to tell me what to do? They don't even live in my state most of the time.
You've had a lot of coffee this morning, haven't you?
I have a lot to complain about.
I have a feeling the Morse code's going to get very, very interesting this morning coming up here in less than an hour.
I'm worked up.
In the meantime, we go to the phone. It's Gwen Rich from the Rich Solution, and I apologize for not getting in on the Facebook Live on Saturday. I tried, and apparently I was having some technical difficulties for the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. Gwen, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What did I miss?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you're coming in loud and clear. What did I miss on Saturday?
Well, we did have a really good session. We had a good turnout and nice engagement. So we were talking about mental attitude. I like to refer to it as mental minutia.
Yeah. And so what about mental minutia?
Mental minutia, well, we all have it. And what I talked about was how we all need to work on the mental minutia, that we all have limiting false beliefs. We all have complaining, negativity, and that, of course, how we can shift away from this and work to obviously change it to something positive, because the more mental minutia we have, it certainly puts up roadblocks, not only for a lifestyle challenge that we're doing. It can be anything in your life, limiting you from success to significance. So it's a big deal.
That's what I've always said too, is in talking about Riduzone and other things, especially, I've always said when you're ready to make the change, because it doesn't matter if your brain is not in the right place for something. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you are not ready to, let's say, lose weight and you haven't decided that you're going to make the lifestyle changes, it's not going to do you good to take anything. I mean, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. You have to get your brain in the right place. Your head in the right place, as they say, to make the change when it comes to work or to losing weight or getting healthy or you fill in the topic, and it all applies the same.
Exactly.
So what is the big challenge for the Healthy Lifestyle Challenge moving forward this week?
Well, we're going to still work. Can you hear? I was trying to get to a better connection, and now there's noise.
What are you?
You hear that?
Where are you? Do we want to know? Are you at a top secret location?
I'm outside trying to get to my appointment, and the connection was horrible.
Oh no, you sound great.
I was going. Well, yeah, but can you hear all the noise behind me?
Well, just yell out really loud for them to shut up. Just really loud at the top of your voice. Tell them you're doing something very important and they need to shut the hell up.
Right. Just what I want to start off on Monday on the right foot. So, no, we're going to work on mental minutia this week. Well, the rest of the challenge, but I'll put a post on there of specific things for people to do, what we talked about. If they missed the webinar on Saturday, please go listen to the replay, because, I mean, everybody said it was really good, and a lot of the responses was that that's kind of like exactly what they needed to hear, because so many people do have mental minutia, false beliefs, and you need to shift away from that. So,
and your brain can be your own worst enemy sometimes. You've got to shut those voices down.
Yeah, someone was talking about anxiety in the chat over the weekend. And I was saying, anxiety, especially nowadays, I feel like is a huge growing problem.
Yeah.
Mainly due to the fact that we're on social networks, which increase anxiety beyond anything that we've read.
That's because everybody else's life looks like a dream.
Yeah, and it's not.
And no, of course not.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the same bag of crap that we're all carrying around.
Yeah.
They just,
But you feel the need to impress, to keep up, to,
I don't.
Yeah, me neither. It's actually a problem in this business.
F all y'all. I'm quite content. All right. So if people go to there's another the webinar coming up this Saturday at the Rich Solution Facebook page, and as people continue on the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge, you said you put the supplement package together, which we can find at therichsolution.com.
Yeah, so it's a Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Kit. And specifically for this group or anybody who wants to be healthy. And so make sure they use DOC as that promo code when they check out, because they'll get 25% off. And
so a foot rub.
What's that?
They'll get a foot rub, too. You get 25% off and a foot rub if you use the promo code DOC.
There you go. From you.
No, from Adam. Come on, Adam. I'm not doing it. The gross feet, they're nasty.
Hey, he doesn't give me one. He's not going to give anybody else one either.
Wow. Man, I don't know how you put up with him, but all right. So therichsolution.com, if you go into, I'm assuming it's under supplements, and then you just look for the Doc Thompson special package there and use the promo code DOC.
You got it. Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Now it's nice and quiet wherever you are.
Yes, well, they left, so that worked
You
out
told
great.
them. You told them to shut the hell up, didn't you? We know how you are.
Yeah, I did. I gave them the finger, and they're like, "Okay, I'll get out of here."
That's constitutionally
But I
protected,
didn't
by the
get
way. Now
arrested, so that's good.
you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
If you didn't get arrested, you're not trying hard enough. All right, Gwen Rich from therichsolution.com. Thank you for being here, and we will keep everybody updated during the week for the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. Talk soon.
Yep, keep up the good work. Yep,
All right.
all of us together.
All right,
Bye. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I'll whip Brandon for you.
We'll
get
There you go.
Facebook fighting revenge porn here in just a second. But you have that the Beto poem.
The Beto poem. Yes, I do have that actually.
Because I think when we should do art on Mondays, and poetry is definitely an art.
Do we have any kind of music that can go with this? Because I feel like I need to. I need some. Rondolph, do we have any kind of like
How's that?
Not bad.
That's all I got
all
over
right,
here.
I'll just go ahead and
Yeah.
maybe the soft, sultry sounds of my voice.
I think that's
okay. This is a this is called the Song of the Cow.
Why don't you do it in like a leprechaun? If Beto wrote it.
This is called the Song of the Cow.
Better.
Published in 1988 by Call to the Dead Cow Communications.
Wait, the who?
Call to the Dead Cow.
Wow.
Communications.
See, we all did crazy things in college.
Of course.
Except me, I didn't go.
Here we are.
Yeah.
This is from Beto O'Rourke. I need a butt shine.
Excuse me, a what?
A butt shine.
Butt shine, okay.
I need a butt shine. Right now. You're holy, oh sacred cow. I thirst for you. Provide the milk for me lucky charms. I just added that last part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it gets really good after this.
I hope so.
Buff my balls. Love the cow. Good fortune for those that do. Love me. Breathe my feet. The cow has risen.
Has a what?
The cow has risen.
The cow is risen. Okay.
It's risen.
And this is a poem written by Beto O'Rourke.
Yes, Beto O'Rourke.
That was it?
No, it keeps going.
Oh, good. How long is this poem?
Oh, it's got one more little verse
Little
here.
stanza?
Yes. This is the most important part of the poem, by the way.
Okay. All right. This is where it gets really deep and
right.
Okay. All right.
Ladies, get out your tissues. Wax my ass. Scrub my balls. The cow has risen. Provide milk.
Wow.
Oh, my
that
God.
was
my God.
Okay, that's not even good poetry if you are a it's just,
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, Milky Wonder, sing for us once more. Live your life everlasting joy. Trust your hooves up my analytical passage. Enjoy my fruits. Provider of cheese and other wonderful dairy products. We will cleanse your inner intestines. We will bathe in your pungent odor. Gather cotton.
Gather cotton?
Yeah, just gather it. Count my eyes, smell my skin, love the scarecrow and the milkman. I live only for eternity, thirst for the undrinkable, hold the heat, praise the doughboy at the pizza shop, love the oxen dung.
Okie dokie. Remember being in English class? What are you looking for?
Oh, nothing.
Remember being in English class? It's right here. If you're looking for Kevin, it's right here.
Yeah.
And you would they'd assign a poem or a story to you, and you'd have to analyze it. And what was the author thinking? What was his goal? What was his or her goal? What were they trying to convey in their poem or story or whatever it was?
Yeah,
that would have been a nightmare.
I think that we're going to be analyzing this poem for generations to come.
Because I don't know that means anything at all.
It's
either so deep that it went right over my head, or it's so stupid that
clearly, Brad, you're not really focusing on the deep meanings behind everything that he's saying right here.
He's talking about a cow.
When he's saying that he wants his balls scrubbed and his ass waxed. Yes, what he's trying to say, obviously, is that income inequality in today's world,
you're right,
is just way too high.
I never made that connection. That's
right.
I see what you're saying.
Right,
now.
when he's saying that he wants to smell the dung, the holy dung. What he's trying to say is that he's trying to find a way to make sure that the environment stays pure. That's what he's trying to say.
I think that, you know what?
Right.
I think that is absolutely brilliant.
And right, when he says things along the lines of like, he's talking about the holy cow and all of this stuff and how he wants to smell the skin. What he's trying to say is, I want to be a Mexican, but I am Irish, and so I have to kind of make do with my white privilege.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed and quite impressed that you pulled all of that from that poem. Ron, do we have the Bravo Sierra sounder? I look forward to hearing it.
Warning, bullshit alert. Everything you say.
Everything that guy just says, bullshit.
Is bullshit.
Bullshit is everywhere.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I had to call Bravo Sierra on that one because it sounds like that's a whole lot of nothing that he put out there. Maybe the effect of psilocybin mushrooms, which, hey, nothing against them. But
what Brad's trying to say when he says that it's bullshit is that what he means is that he is very concerned about the path we are taking on this show when it comes to our discussions of Irish people who are trying to be Mexican.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
There's that. It's an interesting time to be alive, quite frankly. It's this reminds me of possibly when the automobile was invented, or the Wright brothers were out there, a Kitty Hawk and flying, and we went to the moon.
Yeah.
Now we have a presidential candidate who's written some really interesting words
in his fiction.
Yeah, it's certainly different.
So while the poem was funny and stupid, I'd
go with stupid. I'm not sure I'd go with the funny part.
I laughed a little bit, but I'm 5. I
know humor. I know what's funny.
I know.
Let me tell you about humor.
I know comedy. No, I don't. I'm the least funny person I know. I would say, however, that this little fiction thing that he wrote was, again, I don't want to hold anything against somebody when they said or did or wrote something like a long time ago, years and years and years ago. But this, I want an answer for. It's a little strange to me.
The driving.
Yes.
Yeah. This is more than a little disturbing.
Yeah.
You have it there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had it pulled up.
Oh, I did not.
Here, let me go ahead because I wrote about it at redstate.com. You can actually go there and check it out right now. But I am to say the least.
It's a story about driving home and seeing a group of children that he suddenly feels an urge come over him to.
Now, see, here's the thing: is it's not said whether or not he was just writing a fantasy or whether he was writing about his fantasy.
But he wrote it.
But he did write, and that's because Stephen King does some really interesting things too as well. So people write dark fantasy all the time. That's not I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is the fact that this is coming off as like it's his fantasy. This is a fantasy he actually had, and this is something that I want an answer for, especially if you're going to be the leader of the free people of the world. You know, if you're going to be the top dog in the Western world, I would like an answer to this. So. He was, it's a T file from O'Rourke. He was written when he was 15.
Oh, a T file?
Yeah, it's like one of the files that was popping up. But,
okay.
It's disturbing. He said, one day I was driving home from work. I noticed two children crossing the street. They were happy to be free from their troubles. The happiness was mine by right. I had earned it in my dreams. As I neared the young ones, I put all my weight on my right foot, keeping the accelerator pedal on the floor until I heard the crashing of two children on the hood, and then the sharp cry of pain from one of the two. I was so fascinated that after I had stopped my vehicle, I just sat in a daze, sweet visions filling my head. All right.
That's disturbing.
That's serial killer stuff right there.
But again, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you brought
if he was a known horror author,
yeah,
this would be a different thing.
Right. That'd be something different. But like I said, I don't know if he was just writing up a fantasy story, because people write that stuff all the time. It sounded like he was writing like this was literally his fantasy. This is a fantasy that he had.
That is disturbing, to say the least.
Yeah.
Now, if he comes out and, of course, says, this was a piece of fiction and whatever,
I was writing it for like a club, or maybe like it was a.
He was a member of a hacker club at one point. So
yeah,
you just add all of these things up, and it just doesn't. I mean, when it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's most likely a duck.
Right, and I don't want to. Again, I don't want to judge somebody based off of something they did when they were 15.
No,
all right, we were idiots back when we were 15. We were idiots back when we were just a few years ago. We're not who we are used to. But I will say this comes off like the weird things that he said here. He goes into like a detail about the death of at least one of the kids. All right, and then this part just really kind of. I just sat in a daze, sweet visions filling my head. What the hell?
Yeah, it's disturbing to say the very least. And especially, I heard somebody say that if they had found that in their teenager's notebook, they would have immediately called a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
So it'll be okay. So he has some spinning to do. So we'll see if he does that in the next day. The apology tour, what is turning out to be his national apology tour, is unfolding as we speak.
Yeah.
If in the meantime, however, you find yourself mired in some revenge porn, I mean, weren't you saying that was a problem just the other day?
Yeah.
Revenge porn on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook is taking a number of steps, they say, to combat it.
Well,
I didn't know revenge porn was a problem on Facebook.
I didn't either. I didn't. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure Facebook reacts really quickly to this kind of thing.
Oh, they do now. Apparently, they have some AI out to help fight revenge porn.
But see, I remember this being a problem years ago when they tackled it. So does that mean that they never really
they finally got around to it.
Oh, well, good.
I've just never seen revenge porn on Facebook.
Neither have I, but I do 100%
How do I miss all the good stuff? If I know there was revenge, I would have been there long ago.
Apparently, you're not friends with like the
right
fun
people.
crowd, is what
I
it
guess
is.
not.
Yeah.
They claim their new AI technology can detect near-nude images or videos shared without permission on Facebook and Instagram. That's bad news, of course, for Ron, guy behind the glass, especially the near-nude images. The announcement follows Facebook's earlier version of a similar feature in which people directly submitted their private photos as a way to teach Facebook's recognition algorithm. Oh,
I've seen that.
Had I known that existed?
Well, that's not half as fun, because usually what they're talking about, be careful. What they're talking about there is like you'll see teachers post like pictures of something and be like, I'm trying to teach my students that the internet can, circulate pictures very, very quickly, can you help me out? And then like that post will get like millions of shares because people want to teach kids. And that's fine with me. But I have seen so many reports of people who actually like, well, this bitch cheated on me, so here's a picture of her boobs.
I've never seen that on Facebook, ever.
Really?
Not once. I must not be hanging out in the right chat groups.
People started going to jail over that kind of stuff after a while.
That sounds like something that would happen over in MeWe.
MeWe doesn't have those rules yet.
No. That's another. And here's the problem with this is because this is, and should we have, should there be some sort of a filter on it? Okay, sure. I mean, Facebook, again, they can do what they want to. But then where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Then where do you draw the line? Where in the right now they're certainly spending a lot of time and attention and paying a lot of money to silence conservative,
for sure,
voices, conservative posts. We've seen it happen here.
Yep.
And you start putting these things. Earlier we played a bit of Ronald Reagan's 1979 announcement for the candidacy for the president of the United States, and he started talking about personal responsibility and morality and all of that. We're putting all of those things, all of those values in these corporations' hands.
Right.
What about personal responsibility?
Yeah.
It's the television show on TV that you think is nasty or whatever. Don't watch it.
Right. No.
If it doesn't get an audience, it will go away.
It'll go away. Yeah. Because the market ultimately decides.
But, in a capitalist society, we value capital over everything else, according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's just frustrating when you see these things. You wonder if things are ever going to change, if they're going to get different.
I think at some point in time, and I mean, well, this might just be my weird fantasy as a libertarian, but I do think that at some point in time, people are going to get tired of being told what to do. They're going to be tired of being silenced, or maybe at some point in time, Twitter, Facebook, Google, they're going to overreach, and people are going to start moving away, either by force or just because they just want to be able to talk without being judged or punished or something like that.
Or are we the frog in the water? Is the water just warming up slowly around us so it's nice and comfortable, and eventually when it gets to boiling, it's going to be too late?
I don't know. Americans have a rebellious streak in them by nature. So I'm kind of curious as to see how the landscape, the online social media landscape, is going to look in 5 minutes. Because in 5 years, because you got to think it does change.
Minutes.
It does change pretty much by the month.
Oh yeah. There's one thing for certain. Not only is it an interesting time to be alive, but man, it can change in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Things can turn on a dime. We will continue with this, your Daily Mojo, in just seconds.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, that thing called March Madness begins in full swing this week with the NCAA tournament taking center stage. For many of us, brackets are all anyone is talking about in the office. But did you know that gambling on the tournament is perhaps one of the greatest pastimes in the United States? So much so that productivity around the country grinds to nearly a halt on Thursday and Friday, with the first round matchups taking precedent. Think about this. Nearly 98 million live video streams happened in 2017's tournament, only to top the 100 million mark last year, and that is only likely to increase this year. But some of you aren't watching for fun. Come on, admit it. You've likely invested $5 or $10 into an office pool, right? You're not alone, because last year it was estimated that about $10 billion was bet on the NCAA tournament. Not only that, but according to a report by USA Today, some 24 million people would fill out a bracket challenge and spend about $2.6 billion in entry fees. As for that $10 billion number, the American Gaming Association told us that less than 3% of that total would be spent on legal bets or pools. That's how big of a deal office pools are and how ridiculous some of the laws in this country are. The government could technically crack down on those office pools anytime they wanted to, but could you imagine the resources it would likely take to do it? So why not just make sports betting like this legal, or at least decriminalized? Wouldn't it be great if simply filling out a bracket for $5 wouldn't be considered a criminal offense? Wouldn't it be great for the state coffers if they could sponsor tournament betting on a larger scale? Getting more than 3% of a $10 billion betting scene would sure help, especially in a state like the one that I live in, Illinois, where taxes on everything continue to go up and the budget hole magically never gets fixed. I'm Andrew Coppins. This has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on Twitter @TheCoppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you learned something today, be sure to tell me. Go to MeWe.com. Check out the room, What I Learned on Mojo 50, and leave me a little message telling me what kind of lessons that you came away with today. Because
there's still not taught them yet?
So many. There's so many things to learn from today, I feel like.
Are they being obstinate? Are they not putting it down in the correct form, in the form of a question?
Yeah, you have to put it down in the form of a question in the certain categories that I lay out for you. For instance, there's the penis mightier.
Right.
Of
course it is.
If you've never watched the SNL
that would be
Jeopardy,
that would be,
that it's pure genius. You've got to go. Yeah.
And no update recently on Alex Trebek. He's back at work though. They're back filming more of the of Jeopardy.
Oh, good.
So,
good.
Yeah, there will be more.
Good.
Shoot like 6 of those a day.
There's one thing I don't want to lose. It's Alex Trebek. He is a national treasure.
He really is. There is a teacher in St. Petersburg, Florida. She's a pretty lucky woman.
Uh-oh.
Squareman statement. This is a Florida travel insurance company. Basically gave her she's actually in Georgia, a high school teacher, $10,000 for reading the fine print in an insurance policy that she bought.
What?
Yeah, the St. Petersburg-based company says it launched the secret contest February 11th. Buried in the fine print of this insurance was a promise of $10,000 for the first person to send an email to a specific address. And she did it. A teacher in Georgia. She not only got the $10,000, but she also got another $10,000 to a children's literacy charity, plus $5,000 each to the 2 schools where she teaches consumer economics. So good for her.
Yeah, good for her, actually.
See, they say nothing ever happens in the fine print.
Yeah.
But apparently it does. She applied for retirement a week before winning the contest.
Wow. I need to read the fine print from here on out. Even when I do read the fine print, though, don't you just kind of come away with like, I have no idea what they're talking about right
Yes,
now?
most of the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely do. I do. And I would love to answer this phone call right now, Ron, but this mouse is not working. I'm sorry. On the line with us, we have Eddie Gabor. He is the co-owner of Key Advisors Group, LLC, and also the author of The Common Sense Bull, The Keys to the Good Life Before and During Retirement. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, absolutely. So if if your part of your retirement plan is hoping to win $10,000 in an insurance in the insurance fine print, probably not the best retirement plan ever, right?
No, I don't think that's in the book anywhere, so I would stay away from that strategy.
So what do we need to know about planning for retirement? I mean, obviously, it happens. Retirement comes sooner than any of us realize. But what's the number one thing that people find as a stumbling block to planning for retirement?
So the number one stumbling block, frankly, is that they don't actually build a plan. They're so focused on the investment side of things, they have no clear direction in regards to where they're going. So in the book, I talk about the value of, as simple as it may sound, is actually building a plan first and then worry about the investment piece later. And more importantly, make sure you're following through with that plan and having someone, your coach, a family member, someone you trust, to hold you accountable and review that plan every 6 months to see if you're actually hitting your goals. Too many people focus too much on the investment side with no clear direction as to where they're going.
And this book, by the way, your book is available starting tomorrow, correct?
That is correct. You can actually buy it today on Amazon, and it will ship out to you tomorrow. So it's on Amazon, and we found out today it's number 5 on hot new releases in retirement planning right now in Amazon. So we're very excited about that.
Oh, that's great. That's congratulations on that. And I'm the same way as a youngster, as a Ute in America. Utes don't tend to think about retirement, but the best time, obviously, to start planning for retirement is really as soon as you get a job, right?
It is. I mean, again, common sense tells you the sooner you start, the less you have to put away. And again, too many people are not focused on themselves enough. They have so many other distractions. I mean, younger people probably spend more time building their fantasy football schedule and fantasy football team than they do their own financial plan. And hopefully this book is written in a way that it will motivate them to actually spend some time, because it's not hard to be financially independent at all. That's my opinion. if you have the right plan in place.
Right, and you said it's not hard to do. The problem is it's not very sexy. Saving money is just not very sexy. How do you? And I've often read in the past, and I thought this was a brilliant way to look at things. When you get your paycheck, the first person you ought to pay is yourself. Take some of that money and put it away into an account, that essentially is considered your paycheck. But how do you convince, or if you are a younger person, how do you convince yourself that it's a good idea to do it? I mean, is there any magical solution to that, or is it just trying to use common sense?
Well, it's a little bit of both. You have to use some common sense, but you have to find ways to motivate people. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's not sexy to think about that. But what if there's a chapter in my book called Life Planning? And life planning is when we try to set goals in place in regards to what you want your life to look like one day when you're financially independent. And this is the area that gets people excited because it gives them a true vision as far as what they're working for. So if you can tell a young person, look, you start now, you may be able to stop working in your 40s or 50s, and this life plan of all these things on your bucket list, that's what you're going to get to do for the rest of your life. And that motivates them to, you know what, let me pay myself first because I'm trying to hit this life plan goal that is real sexy. And that's the whole key to it, is finding ways to motivate people because everyone's different.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Everybody is different, and everybody is views rewards differently. Some people are, monetarily reward. A monetary reward is the best thing for them. Praise is the other one. Essentially, they're love languages, but you can transfer them to money as well. When is it too late, or ever is it too late to start investing in your retirement? I mean, you get somebody who's maybe in their mid-50s, or looking at retirement coming up the road pretty quickly. Is it ever too late to start?
Well, I mean, most people are going to tell you no, but the reality is there is going to be a point in time when it's too late. If somebody calls me and they're 55 years old and they want to retire when they're 60 and they haven't saved anything, that's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. Now, the good thing is, as someone in their 50s, life expectancy today is the mid-80s once you hit that age. So you still have a long period of time. So in that regards, it's not too late to start doing something. It's just not going to look like the way that you wanted it to look like maybe 20 years ago. Right. And that's the reality. And again, that's why we're trying to educate people on not waiting until it's too late.
Right. Oh, and then again, that's a great point. The fact that you have to basically envision what you want to be doing when you retire, whether it's traveling the world, like the teacher that just won the $10,000. I mean, that's $10,000 doesn't go very far anymore. But the fact that she had just applied for retirement and she's going to go on a trip to Scotland with her husband, celebrating their wedding anniversary. So if travel is a big thing for you, but some people, they'd be cool in retirement just kind of hanging around the house. And that obviously is not going to take as much of a nest egg, right?
That's exactly right. Majority of my clients are financially independent. And when we put their life plans together, a lot of it is just hanging around here at the local level, volunteering at places. We try to discourage from just sitting at home because then your mind can go. Your brain is a muscle, and we encourage people to keep that brain working. So a lot of our clients just do things here at the local level, and their calendars, their social calendars are busier than ever, and they're happy. And it's not about the money. You're great. You're right. And this book talks about that balance because too many people focus on the money aspect of things. And what we find is when you combine the money and the life plan together, you get true satisfaction when you hit those golden years.
Wow. And all this time I thought that was just a societal trope. That's actually, it's true.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was just a David Bowie line in a song.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you really do have to play, and it's the same with anything. I mean, again, what you're saying is common sense, which again we have a lack of in the world. But it's amazing how we preach this over and over and over throughout, because I've heard it throughout my entire life, and some people just don't get it. Is there any magical trick? Is there anything that you could say that would get somebody to start their retirement planning today?
I believe that if I was able to get in front of someone who maybe had a negative thought in regards to that if it's properly articulated to them, that I don't know why they wouldn't be motivated to do it.
Oh, there's some stupid people. There's some stupid people out there. So
Yeah, and you know what? If they are that stupid, to use your word, then it doesn't matter what you say to them.
Yeah,
and they'll be the ones that are going to be complaining when their friends are on vacation later in life and on the golf course, and they're going to wonder why they're not able to do that and they're still working.
Exactly.
At that point in time, you just look yourself in the mirror because you're the reason why you failed.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Eddie Gabor is, again, the author of the book, which is available starting tomorrow, but you can pre-order it now, The Common Sense Bull. Are you on the Twitter and the Facebook and all of that as well? And where can we find you?
I am. You can follow me on Twitter at Common Sense Bull is my handle.
All right, Common Sense Bull. We'll go ahead and tweet that out as well. And again, you can pre-order the book, available starting tomorrow, but you can pre-order it on Amazon, anywhere else?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and you can also go to my website, thecommonsensebowl.com.
Cool. Eddie Gabor, again, thank you for joining us this morning. Hopefully we've convinced somebody to take that first step in retirement.
It's my pleasure. Thank you again for having me on your show.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you, it's one of those things where, there you go. Thank you, Ron. This mouse just decided to stop working in here. Again, it's the best time to start planning for retirement is 20 years ago, and then the second best time is now. When we started talking about, somebody in their mid-50s looking at retirement and then being kind of too late, I almost reached to the phone, slapped him. I mean, I just don't think that was entirely necessary for him to mock me that way.
Well, I mean, you kind of set him up, Brad.
If I had invested, let's say, in cat coolers.
Oh, there's a good
ago,
investment right there.
If I had done that, I would be sitting pretty right now. I would be, on a beach. I'd be
with a cat cooler.
Sitting
on a cat cooler.
And I would maybe be doing a little show from the beach.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
That would be kind of cool.
You know what? No, because I'd be too damn lazy. I'd be drinking beer the whole time.
That would actually be that might be an interesting show, though. Drunk Brad.
Here's the thing. If you start doing a show like that because you've got nothing to lose and you really don't care about what you gain, that's usually when you make the biggest advances.
Yeah.
Catcoolers.com is where you'll find these coolers that are amazingly sturdy and amazingly efficient. I mean, you put ice in these things, they will last for 10 years. I mean, ice it'll I'm lying about that. It's not 10 years. No, but that was a good week, which is incredible if you think about it. The fact that you can have a cooler that you can take with you. And because that's the old ice boxes in homes. We talked about this last week. They put ice in them and it would last for the week. Mm-hmm. But it stayed in one place, and it was in a cool environment. It could do that. It was efficient. Try taking that thing on the road with you. It was kind of difficult. But with a cat cooler, you can take it with you. You can keep your beverages, your ice cold for literally days at a time. It is amazing. If I had invented this technology, man.
A long time ago, back when we were...
No, I had to play around in radio and television. Catcoolers.com is where you'll find the amazing technology and amazingly affordable, especially if you use promo code Brandon. And you can get them in the different colors available. You can get them customized with your logo. It is truly an invention of we're in the 21st century, right?
I believe so.
Not 22nd yet.
I lost track.
I did too. It's amazing. It's catcoolers.com and use promo code Brandon. So... Are they bitching again in any of the rooms or on Twitter?
Well, they're always bitching.
The natives are kind of restless.
Yeah. Right now in the MeWe says Brandon Morse always has more excuses for being late than neglecting to read social media. That's Brad Flags. Your flannel shirt gets a little snowflakey if I don't pay attention enough. What's up with you?
It happens.
What happened?
It's finally at least I got a hi there, Dan.
Hiya, Dan.
At least part of me has a Twitter account. I mean, you got your beard and Matlock's
vocal cords, Ron's poop.
I got the shirt, so if I'm ever not here, the shirt will be here. It'll take care of things.
Doc Thompson got run over by an Amtrak. Said, no, real Brad Staggs. The second best time to start saving for retirement is 19 years, 364 days ago.
Thank you.
The third is 19 years, 363 days ago.
Exactly.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Wrong.
He's absolutely not wrong. That is absolutely correct.
Jacqueline Weaver said, real Brad Staggs is asking for personal responsibility from a society that blames inanimate objects when bad things happen. Personal responsibility will never happen in our lifetime. It's sad. I feel like there's going to be personal responsibility. Look, I think it still exists. I just think that there is a quiet majority that kind of goes about its own business and doesn't make excuses for itself. And then you have The complainers, the loud people, the ones who always speak up whenever something doesn't go their way and they have to blame somebody else.
They're going to be the ones coming over to your house when you're retired.
Exactly.
And, you're all comfy and you've got your cold drink and you're sitting by the pool on retirement. And they're coming over, hey, can I come in?
It's the grasshopper and ant scenario.
Yes.
Remember that story?
Yes.
The ants prepared, and then the grasshopper was lazy, and then when push came to shove, and the weather got cold, and things got a little bad, the grasshopper came a begging.
Or it's the rabbits living in the tree with the bread.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah, from...
Don't be the rabbit living in the tree with the bread who didn't get the thing with the nut and the squirrel.
You're so wise.
I'm telling you.
You are so wise.
Listen to the story of the rabbit and the nut and the squirrel and the bread, and you'll be out there today banging down the door.
That's right.
Of some financial planner. and just begging to get in on their plan.
That's right.
If you've got some time, is that Kim Kardashian on the television? Nah, it can't be.
No.
If you've got some time between now and the time you retire, you don't want to spend a lot of time, like going to college and all learning stuff. Here are some of the jobs, the 20 highest paying jobs that don't require a master's degree. So you can dive right into these things and become rich.
Definitely want to hear this.
Rich. Number 20 on the list is a computer network architect. You don't need a master's degree.
A network architect?
A computer network architect.
Isn't that another way of saying learn to code?
They build data communication networks. Learn to code, maybe.
Learn to code.
All you need is a bachelor's degree.
That's sexist?
That's easy.
Brett?
Yeah, computer network architect is not a developer, not a coder.
Oh, it's not?
No. Computer network is what I started out with.
No,
it's linking all these computers together to make them work.
So if I say learn to network,
that
would not be sexist or racist.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Got it.
Median salary for a computer network architect, $100,000. Not bad change.
What?
Not bad change at all.
Yeah.
You could be a training and development manager. Boy, that's sexy right there.
Yeah.
Hard to fit on a business card. That means you have to work with people, right?
Yeah.
Training and development managers create and direct programs made to boost the knowledge and skills of an organization's employees. They boost you up. They lift you up as a training and development manager. It only needs a bachelor's degree and some experience.
How do you work that in at a bar?
Baby. Hey, come buy you a drink. I'm a development manager.
Training and network development.
Sexy. It could be sexy. It's all in the approach.
What do you do?
Would you like to see my developments? Make almost $103,000 a year. Close to it. 102,640.
Yeah, I'm making fun, but they're the ones with the last laugh. That's for sure.
You could be a nuclear engineer. It does not require a master's degree.
Why didn't I think of that? Really?
Does not require a master's.
A nuclear engineer does not require a master's.
Nope.
Well, I guess Homer Simpson, he's technically a nuclear engineer, isn't he?
They create the instruments and systems involving nuclear energy and radiation, such as machines used in medical diagnosis and treatment. Only a bachelor's degree.
I like that. That is awesome. I like the fact that it's like one of the most hazardous substances working on some of the most hazardous things. And they're like, no, you don't. It's fine.
Well,
go to class for a year or 2 or 3. It's fine. You'll come out with like
some training involved.
You'll know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Is the phrase that you would use.
$102,950 in median income. You could be a public relations and fundraising manager. See, if you can fundraise that right there, that is a skill. If you can go into a business or to people in general and get them to write you a check for stuff, that right there is a skill.
Yeah.
I suck at it. They're in charge of their client or employer's public image, basically. Their median salary there is $104,140. Requires only a bachelor's degree.
Good Lord in heaven, man.
You could be a human resource manager. I would rather ram my head into a wall.
I did, yeah. The last. Does anyone really truly like HR? Does anybody really like HR?
That's a good question. They get a raw deal.
Because I mean, even if they are good people, which I've met some people who work in HR that are really, but like at the end of the day, I just feel like, man, no matter what, somehow, some way,
there are a couple in the past few years that were not bad.
No, they're not bad. No.
How do I phrase this without sounding? They were hot. You probably know who I'm referring to.
Well, he was a good-looking dude.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I didn't want to.
Yeah, man, you didn't come on too strong,
right?
But
human resource managers oversee the recruiting and hiring of new staff. or perhaps the mass firing of staffs, and consult with top executives on strategic planning. Among other functions.
That evil laugh was apropos.
Yes. Their median salary, though, is $104,440. Wow.
Wow.
It's lonely near the top.
Wow.
You could become and this is going to sound strange, you could become a manager. Managers oversee daily operations and form organizational policies for a public or private entity.
It sounds to me like the person making this list went, manager.
Hello, I would like to be a manager. You can make $104,000, the median salary $104,850.
Good Lord.
As a systems software developer, you create system-wide computer programs. I think these are the coders.
These are the coders.
Yeah, these are not the coders you're looking for.
These are the racist, sexist
pigs.
Horrible.
The companies would be in medical,
I bet
industrial.
Their dads too.
Oh, right. Military, aerospace, other industries. You only need a bachelor's degree. I'm telling you, if you can write good code, you probably don't even need that.
Probably not.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
I've met people who have bachelor's degrees that try to code, couldn't do it to save their lives. But I've met some of the best coders out there building software.
If I ever find
that
the time,
they barely have a high school education.
If I ever find
they were just too bored.
I will go to school to learn to code. I will. It's just a high value thing in this day and age.
It's just zeros and ones. That's all it is. And a couple of equal signs. You put some brackets around.
There's just so many different languages out there. I'm learning to code right now myself.
Really?
iOS apps.
Is your backup plan?
That's my backup plan.
You can make. You have the potential for $105,570. I think old Ron would be a good one. He's a detail guy.
Seriously.
He's a detail guy.
Yeah.
You could be an aerospace engineer.
Oh, of course.
It has nothing to do with trains.
Yeah.
Aerospace.
Yeah, you can't get hit by a train if you're in the air.
Right. You can design aircraft, spacecraft, satellites, and missiles.
Well, who doesn't want to design those?
I know, right? I want to design a missile. $107,000.
That's what she said.
That's what Skip does now, isn't it?
Yeah. He learns to do stuff for space.
He makes up those panels, the things with the stuff that go into space.
Yeah, that's actually a very apt description of what he does, Brad.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're so wise.
Purchasing manager.
I can do that.
I can buy. I'm really good at buying stuff.
I buy stuff all the time.
Yeah, me too. I can spend money like nobody's business.
Yeah.
They coordinate the buying of materials and services, often in the wholesale or retail merchandising industry. You know, the key to this job, though, is because I've known people who do it. It's like for example, how to take a sheet of plywood and make 10 chairs out of it, to lay out the cuts and things so that you can make 10 chairs as opposed to the guy, well, I can only make 8 chairs out of a sheet of plywood.
Yeah, idiot.
Well, it's all about how you take your resources and design them more efficiently.
Can you do that?
Hell no. I just grab the sheet and start cutting. And hopefully not my finger. You can make almost $108,120 there.
So this is all good money for stuff that's literally not that hard to break into.
You do not need to have you only need to have a bachelor's degree in that. You could be a compensation and benefits manager.
Compensation and benefits manager. That sounds also like HR a little bit.
It kind of is, but you help coordinate retirement plans, health insurance, and other benefits that a company provides its employees.
Like ERAmanagement.com?
No, I think you're right. I think it would be kind of in the vein of working with the people and having a close relationship with HR so that you help provide some of the benefits.
Okay.
Which I mean, you really have to. You have to love working with people is the thing.
Yeah, and I don't.
I find it, and especially I started thinking about this yesterday as I was doing something in the shop, and I thought, there used to be a time when I'd look forward to like a Friday night because all the friends would get together and you go out, you go to a party and you'd hang out with people and you have people all around you and you people together all weekend. And at some point during the course of your life, you go, damn, I sure enjoy it when it's quiet and there's nobody around.
I don't like that happened to me like way earlier in my life than it probably should have. But I can remember like I was on like my mid-20s and I was just like, I could go out or I could just stay here, watch Game of Thrones,
Right.
And eat chips. without having to talk to anybody. And because in Galveston, where I grew up, there's no quiet bar, that you can go to. Every time you walk in, you have to walk like a crab to get anywhere sideways.
Yes.
And then
you can't hear.
Brad!
Right, yeah.
Brad, do you want a beer?
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not that near.
I can't hear you.
What'd you call me?
What?
No, I can't see her.
Okay,
What?
I'm going to get you a beer.
I don't want a beer. Yeah, I can't stand it. And I can't, it can, when I'm in a place where I can't hear, it confuses me.
And then all you hear is boom.
Right.
Which, it's like, stop.
20 years ago was a mating call, and now it's just irritating. It's just irritating. But again, you can make, if you want to make some decent money, those are some of the jobs that you can do with only a bachelor's degree that don't require a master's that you can do and retire early or earlier than me anyway. All right. I think it's time we wrap this whole thing up. Let's do it.
What do you mean it's let's go?
Yes, my friends, the sound of the train whistle means that is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that Brandon Morse gets his adrenaline flowing by trying to promote an outdated social norm, that being women staying at home with the kids.
I am.
What is wrong with you?
I'm a sexist. I'm a misogynist, sexist, patriarchal.
Pig is what you are. We learned that sneeze powder is not the best retirement plan for me.
Yet.
Although somebody's done it, so what the hell? Why can't I do it?
It's going to have its day, Brad.
Underarm itching powder. No one's come up with that.
No one, you're the first guy.
Damn it.
No one take that.
Yep. Yeah, erase that last part of the tape. I don't want anybody stealing that idea. And we learned that our last guest, Eddie Gabor, apparently has my phone tapped. He knows that I want to retire in 5 years.
It's just like, well, maybe he's psychic. Do you think about that?
I have ESPN too. Brandon Morse, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned the Swans must be serious drinkers if they're getting violent over a red Solo cup.
No kidding.
Yeah. I also learned that if you wax your ass and shave your testicles, you're either a porn star or a presidential Democratic candidate.
That is the world in which we live now, isn't it?
Yes,
it really
it
is frightening.
I also learned that Brad is a meal fascist.
Yeah? Is that a problem?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong. You don't mix meats. Don't mix the meats. Wow, I just can't believe you had to say that. What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Jack Hole Angry Beaver said, I learned that crack is whack and that poem proves drugs are bad. Drugs are bad.
If drugs are a problem if you can't afford them.
That is 100% accurate,
Just
Brad.
saying.
This is Mojo Country, said Brad takes his lawn downtown to have it mowed.
I have people for that. Are you kidding? I don't do it myself. What am I, a pilgrim?
Code Monkey Attack effing Yuffie said it's hard to be a woman when we're expected to behave like a man.
Yeah, I would go with that. Yes, I can understand that. I can actually understand that. Totally.
And I'm going to break my embargo. Madam Sue Jackal said some jackals will never follow directions no matter how many times they are admonished. And you know what? For that, I kind of love them. I love a good rebel. I love a good rebel.
I too love a good rebel, and that's my nature. So I have to concur with that sentiment as well. What do you have coming up next on the Morse Code program immediately following this broadcast?
In the nature of Matt Locke, I'm going to yell a lot probably because I'm a little angry.
You are fired up today.
I'm a little angry over some things that I was talking about this weekend with the gun control nonsense, how it doesn't work, and also James Gunn is back as director of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm happy about this because this is a loss for the mob. The angry mob loses.
There you go.
Which is unburned.
We'll get to those new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc returns from his vacation. In the meantime, your Daily Mojos are on Phillips Production. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules and you have a shot at being right and being happy. In the meantime, good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.
See ya.